You're live, it reckons. Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 203. I'll just cue the intro and kick off some music. Hopefully all is working. What's that whistle? That was loud. Mr. Earl Grey. Mr. Mosh. Mr. Robert. Going down to Area 51 base underground. Going down. Hello. Just kill the music. Good to be back. I'm back with Robert with another UFO cases. I'll just pause that and get the desktop up. Sure. What's it doing? There we go. We've got the desktop. Hopefully, I can minimize that now. Okay. So what are we doing today, Rob? I'll just do an audio check.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's the Berwyn Mountains. UFO crash 1974, 23rd of January, where the sleepy village of RichHall was about to be shaken up. Literally.
I think it sounds alright here, but we need to get some side chatters on to just verify that on Google's side.
Okay.
So if anyone's out there watching, just say hi in the side chat and tell us if the audio sounds right for our mics. So yeah, we're finally getting up there in subs, so we're almost up to the 1700 mark. See if we can break that tonight with this special event that you've got organised. Because actually...
It's a long time ago now, Paul.
Well, actually, you went to the city in question to interview people, or try to.
I wouldn't call it a city. A population of about 200 people, mate.
Okay, what is that, a village in UK?
It's a small village, yeah. In Wales, UK, yes.
So we got, I'll just bring up my thing here, just to make sure it's working. It looks like it's... Okay, so we got map here, the little tiny one, but I'll bring it up on Google. So that's where we're going to head to for this first case. And apparently that's meant to be what the UFO looked like. There you go. There's 23rd January.
Pretty much it. It was a very large orange ball of light.
Alright, so we just got the map here. Where we are. So America's over here, UK's way over here, and Europe and Africa's down here. So we're going to zoom in from space and change it to satellite. And we'll zoom down. So when do you want to show the pictures to start with that you took in these areas?
Well, you can bring them up when they're needed, to be honest.
Right, okay. So we're going off course here, but where's two places? Huh? I thought it was those markers.
It's okay, right, Paul. It's Cadair Berwyn you need, not Berwyn. Cadair Berwyn. That's where the UFO came down.
Berwyn Mountains.
No, no. Cadair Berwyn.
That one there.
That's the one, Paul. Yes.
There's the lake that you took a picture of.
Yeah,
so you
that's
went
Barrow
down.
Lake.
You went down all this road here, I guess, and there's a dirt track.
Yeah,
is it?
We did. Yes.
Where's the main road going that way then? Can't see it. How do you get over there?
I'm not even sure those roads would be even listed. You know.
Looks like one going this way. Looks like a lot of winding roads there, that's for sure.
Oh, tell me about it.
We got a lot of roads like that in New Zealand. Yeah, so that's where we're going to. We got some links. I better type the welcome message as well. So while you look up for the links that you're going to use.
Yeah, I've got the first one open.
Also, I did some questions with Finn on his triangle sighting. If you haven't seen that little short 7-minute video, go and check it out. He discussed how the thing showed up from orbs to triangles, because I asked him if it came out of a portal or did it just change shape. So go and see what he has to say there. Live stream 203. Berwyn Mountains UFO crash incident 1974, etc. I think I spelled it right.
Yeah, you need to just amend that UFO crash there, Paul.
Yep. Where's the S key gone? There we go. Okay, we'll copy this one. And we'll be ready to go. I was hoping more people would have shown up by now. From UK, at least. It's coming up. So I guess we need to read it out.
Yes, we do. This is the introduction to the case. Which isn't straightforward, trust me.
Last updated. Maybe I'll just read it from there then. I should get rid of that side thing there, shouldn't I, really? But we'll go with that.
Key events of the 23rd of January 1974 over the Berwyn Mountains in Wales were nothing more than an earthquake that just happened to coincide with a meteorite landing at the same spot as the epicenter, at least according to the military. To anyone who is local to Lanzarillo, there was no doubt a UFO crash occurred and the military covered it up. UFO researchers and investigators, however, would treat local people's claims seriously. When declassified documents finally found their way into the public domain in the early 2000s, it would seem that they were correct.
I wonder if I can get rid of that side thing. Let's see. Where's the tick box? It gets rid of it. At least it's not in the way. But it doesn't expand the page, unfortunately. The next bit. So this is where we're going.
The incident is even more remarkable in terms of how it fits with other sightings in the area. Perhaps even more so when you include the sightings happening today. If UFO investigators were correct about just what happened that night in the Berwyn Mountains, then perhaps they are also correct with their theories as to just what is happening over the mountains of Wales today. Before we look at the incident in detail, check out the video below. It gives a good outline to the basis of that cold January evening in 1974.
Okay, these two seem...
Yeah, they're the two daughters of Pat Evans, who is one of the chief witnesses in this case.
Sure, I've seen them before, though.
You may well have the two daughters of Pat Evans anyway, it doesn't matter, but they're related to this case anyway.
Is that
I don't think you'd have seen them before on any other case. They were residents of RichHall.
Is it worth listening to them or not?
You can. It's up to you, Paul. It's you know what the copyright strike is like.
Yeah, but it looks like it's a TV interview, so I'm not sure. If it's news, we should be able to use it. But we have to check.
Yeah, sure.
Just I have to open it on YouTube to see what the title is and all that.
In 1974, in Llandrillo, Wales.
That sounds like
TV show.
Something we can't use, unfortunately. We can skim through the images though. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I don't think you're on the right one there. That seemed to switch to something else. Oh no, no,
that's correct.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's got subtitles, so we can go with the subtitles maybe. Yeah, it's not bringing them up. Well, unless you play it.
There won't be any subtitles. I'll speak in English.
Yeah. Earth Tremor Mystery. Oh, here we go. Took a wee while from the pop-up. Well, I have no idea what happened. I don't think it was an earthquake. Simone, I still think it. John Roberts wasn't the only one shaken that day. Hugh Edwards thoughts.
Hugh Edwards.
11 battalion was the size of the purse, really. So I'm not sure what he's talking about there.
No, do I. This is a waste of time, Paul.
Yeah, it's just a shame we can't play it, because I can't see any TV logo on there. Started looking what we thought was going to be. There might be bodies if it was an airplane crash.
Well, you see, that's originally what they thought it was. There's a big police presence. There was apparently a military presence.
Right.
There was planes there from RVF Valley. There was a propeller aircraft droning all over the mountains all night.
It was so.
There's no doubt something happened here.
Uniform the shape, the round, spherical shape of it made. Red,
yeah,
orange
and now you've
object.
got another depiction of the object there.
Yeah, that's more yellow though.
That's more yellow. Well, Pat Evans actually described it. I think that is Pat Evans there. She described it as glowing from orange to yellow to white, back to orange, yellow to white. And
right.
it was big. They estimated it with a bit of science and a trigonometry, I think, to get an idea of the size of the object. And it's 22 meters in diameter. So that's the size of, well, more than a couple of houses.
Yeah. So we might sort of carry on reading then. So we can understand where we're heading. But from that, we sort of got an idea. And we got some pictures you've taken off the city as well.
Of the village, Paul, yeah.
Off the road trip. Let me know when you want to show them, though.
Yeah, sure.
One cold night in January 1974 at a little past 8:30 in the evening, the ground around the Berwyn Mountains shook. It sounded very much like an explosion. The orange glow on the mountainside would suggest that was exactly what it was. The official explanation would state that an earthquake, measuring 3.5 on the Richter scale, had hit the area. The epicenter, as stated by the British Geological Survey, was likely to be Bala Lake. This was incidentally the same spot where local residents would report seeing the aftermath of an explosion. The explosion, according to military reports, was the result of a bizarre meteor shower. One meteor went crashing into the mountainside. Police switchboards would go into meltdown with reports from concerned residents. Strangely, however, the initial public report would leave out these sightings. Only years later, in 2008, did leaked documents reveal this to be true. What's more, many of the reports to police that evening would state clearly that residents believed they had seen a UFO in the sky before the earthquake struck. One resident's statement read they had seen a bright red light, like coal fire red, on the mountainside. They could also see light above and to the right, as well as white lights moving to the bottom. One particularly interesting note in the leaked documents is one recorded by a police officer on duty that evening. It reads, "There's been a large explosion in the area and there is a large fire in the mountainside. I can see the fire from where I am." Despite what the military was offering as the official version of events, it was obvious to anyone with an interest in the incident that their version was far from the truth. Unpicking the earthquake theory despite the official explanation, various other reports would come from members of the public. In fact, some people got a lot closer than the military would have liked. Nurse Pat Evans, upon request of local police after hearing of her profession, would attempt to attend the site in case her skills could be of use. As she was heading towards the site in her car, she noticed strange lights going up and down the mountainside. At first, she thought these were rescue teams. However, she soon began to realize how difficult the terrain would be to negotiate, in the darkness no less. Besides, these lights appeared to move in a very strange manner. She would also state to seeing a pulsating orange glow from a stationary position on the mountain. She would state in 2010 that the object couldn't have gotten there any other way apart from being flown there. To Evans, there is no doubt it had to be a UFO of some sort. Evans quickly realized that whatever sat on the mountainside, it certainly wasn't the scene of an aircraft crash. Her two teenage daughters, who were in the car with her, were beginning to become uneasy and scared. Taking a last look at the bizarre scene, Evans turned around her car and headed for home. Evans would further elaborate 40 years later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did we get to there?
Just one thing to put right there. Pat Evans didn't go there on request of the police. She informed the police and asked if she could help, and they says, "Well, yeah, go ahead." Because at that point she was under the influence that it was a plane crash.
I can't see where it got to on that.
You need to be careful of that. Don't want to miss anything.
40 years later, so we got down that far. Did I read out that much? Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I went from there. Police statement. I thought I went from there to down there. 40 years later. Where's that gone?
Yeah, no, you need to...
there it is. There it is. So here's the statement onwards.
Okay.
If it will not go crazy fast. Okay. I'll just do that bit first.
The object was moon-like, but without windows or doors. I've never seen anything like it before or since. I have no idea what it was. I just wish we'd stayed to see what the end result was. One of the first experienced UFO researchers on the scene was Margaret Fry, whose house sat close to the area. It was her investigations and collecting of witness statements that would form the core of events that evening. Unofficial witness statements and leaked information newspaper reports at the time made little mention of earthquakes, despite the official explanation offered to them. One of the first articles concerning the incident stated, there was a huge explosion and a shaking of the ground. Fry would speak to several local residents, who would paint a far different picture than the military. One of the more interesting were the statements from a local hotel manager. She would state to Fry that in the hotel bar each evening following the incident, the conversation was increasingly about the military sealing off the area and ushering anyone who got close to their perimeters away without explanation. There were also reports of an American military presence.
Okay, there's another video
so,
interview.
Margaret Fry was one of the first investigators that got involved. She is Welsh, so she was
here.
ideal. That's right, yeah. So she was ideal to, communicate with locals who are quite close-knit and we don't like outsiders, if you like,
What's that say there? Late night show. So is that on TV?
Yeah.
Is that one? I just wonder if we could play it, that's all.
I don't know, that's not too relevant.
In the hours leading up to the event, two long-haul lorry drivers were driving back from Lincolnshire to the area. Their hopes were to arrive back in time to at least catch last orders in their local pub. On their way, each would notice a strange cigar-shaped object apparently hovering over Bala Lake. They continued to watch the object as they drove. Upon arriving, they would find the pub shut. They banged on the door, wondering why the pub had shut their doors early. Only when they looked at their watches did they realize it was after 1 a.m. In the days after the event, a family were driving along a quiet road around 20 miles from the Berwyn Mountains. A strange humming sound suddenly filled the air. Out of nowhere, a saucer-shaped object passed in front of them, just above the treetops. It then vanished out of sight. Declassified documents looking at other UFO reports from the time, a large bright object was likely visible all around the United Kingdom. At least 5 classified reports came to light in the eventual declassified documents, showing the home counties had 3 separate reports, with reports also coming from Sussex and Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
Down to there now.
So it's not just isolated to Berwyn, is it? Or RichHall.
Reports also coming from Sussex. So we have to put that.
Yeah.
So if we put it on the map, we got an area.
Yeah, and they're further down South Pole in England.
Yeah, I just want to put it on the map though. Let's see, Sussex, Hastings. Must be that one, is it? No.
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 No. You need to move Berwyn Mountains out of there altogether to find the county Sussex. Okay.
No. This is 2. This is for driving instructions. England.
Okay.
There we go. Hastings, England. Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah. So you're right down on the south coast of England now.
Right. Way down there.
See what I mean? You're way down there, yeah.
So it was seen a great distance from one end of UK to the other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't think it's particularly relevant.
Unless it's travelling in this direction towards Europe.
Yeah. This is where it all gets muddied.
So, where's Lancashire in that lot then?
Lincolnshire's a bit more further north.
So it looks like it might be a triangle. So let's put
no,
that
it's
one.
not. No one described the triangle at any stage.
No, I mean a triangle landmass where it's England. There we go. Straight up, you see.
As I said, yeah.
Triangle. You with me now?
Oh, you're trying to make a triangle out of that? Oh, okay.
Yeah. We could call that the Lincolnshire triangle. And we've got the Welsh triangle over here. But anyway, carry on. We got down to the next bits.
Yeah, you can, well, go on. Just to there, Paul.
UFO investigators would liken the site to that of the famous Kecksburg crash site in Pennsylvania in 1965. There, like now, the military would seal the area off and deny what residents had seen with their own eyes. And further leaked documents would prove investigators were right to draw comparisons. The declassified files would essentially prove many of the dismissed and crazy theories completely correct. And what's more, the government seemed to be complicit in actively covering up the events. The military were carrying out activities at the location that evening. It would seem a UFO had crashed in the Berwyn Mountains, and the UK and American militaries had retrieved it. What's more, it would seem, given how quickly they were at the scene, remember the lights seen by Nurse Evans, that they were expecting the arrival of the craft. There are even reports of another UFO seen hovering over the area shortly after the initial crash. Some have theorized this to be a top-secret military vehicle, while others believe it to be another alien craft. Whoever the craft belongs,
Hello,
it would seem
Ellie.
the only reason it was there would be to retrieve bodies.
Shelley.
Check out the video below. It features some of the original witnesses to the events as they marked the 40th anniversary of the incident. There are some interesting perspectives.
That might be worth playing if we can get away with it.
What's this you're looking at now?
This video they're talking about perspectives. Let's see. Is it no?
Let's have a look. I'll tell you now.
It's going to be a waste of time.
Well, I don't know until you start playing it.
It's that one with the picture. So let's see. Doesn't look like a TV thing, but it's hard to tell.
I don't know where you've gone at the moment.
This is the third video on that page.
Is this the bottom video?
Yeah, I think so.
No, that's Andy Roberts. He's a debunker. He's a complete ass, by the way.
It might not be the bottom one. There's still quite a bit to go.
Yeah, I don't know why you're scrolling down there, because we need to stay exactly where we were. We're losing
Check out the video below.
Hang
on. Just pay attention. Check out the video below. It features some of the original witnesses. That's why I'm playing it. They marked the 40th anniversary. So that's
yeah.
So let's just skim through here.
It's too long.
Too long? Oh yeah, we'll just play a wee
way
bit.
too long, and it doesn't add up either.
Something very unusual happened indeed. Something out of this world, perhaps literally.
Oh, that guy.
There was
exactly.
He's an investigator, isn't he? He's a debunker. You said.
Yeah. No, he's not. He's not a debunker. No, but this just takes too long.
Yeah, I thought they were talking about some witnesses. Here's one now, I think, is it? Well, you got some pictures like that. Well, certainly no witnesses from what I can see.
Somewhere you can drive and walk within half an hour, because this was just about half an hour after the explosion.
Yep, so he's going to where you went, well, looks like.
Yeah, similar view.
So it was less foggy there, though, to your pictures.
It's a vast mountain range, you know, Paul, and all the terrain looks quite similar.
Of course. How's the audio sound in there on the side chats? I think she's gone to bed.
Well, there's only one left.
So, yeah,
Paul, just read the text now, please. Let's move on with this case. There's a lot to go through.
I am, mate. Give me a chance. He said there were witnesses, and it seems it's a lot more than just witnesses on that description.
Transportation of live cargo. A whistleblower who claimed to have been a part of the operation would speak to UFO researcher Tony Dodd. The conversation would take place over 2 decades after the events in 1996. Although Dodd ensured the man's identity remained a secret, he has spoken and written about the information passed to him many times, as well as stating his own background checks on the whistleblower all check out. According to the soldier, his unit was stationed at an unnamed barracks in the south of England. Several days before the incident in the Berwyn Mountains, they received orders to move out and head for Birmingham. From there they proceeded to Chester, and they finally reached Llangollen, and were under instruction to set up base there. To wait. They knew orders were coming, and the entire unit believed they were taking part in a live drill. They went into action almost as soon as the earthquake occurred on the evening of the 23rd of January. Within hours, orders came to proceed to Vanderfell, and they were not to stop under any circumstances until reaching their destination. Once there, still expecting a training exercise to begin, especially given all the activity on the ground. His small 5-person unit placed 2 oblong crate-like boxes onto their military truck. They received strictest orders to leave the boxes shut at all times, and to not stop until they reached their destination, Porton Down facility, which we will look at in a moment. Setting off, a little bemused, all 5 soldiers agreed to stop at a convenient location so they could obtain refreshments. Almost as soon as they vacated the vehicle, a plainclothed man approached them, producing high-level military ID, and ordered them to carry on with their journey without stopping.
I was just trying to find out how many earthquakes do happen in the UK. Have you felt any earthquakes yourself?
1 in 54 years.
Happen in the UK each year. That's what I wanted to know. UK is not generally associated with earthquakes, but I know there was one. However, between 20 to 30 earthquakes are felt by people each year, and about a few
They're
hundred.
not earthquakes as such, they're just minor tremors, you know.
Smaller ones that are recorded by sensitive instruments. Very few. We probably get 20 every hour here, and you don't feel them, but they definitely, if you can check the records with New Zealand, and in 1 year it's like 1 million earthquakes. We often get a big one though. So we got down to the next heading here. Yeah, I don't trust the Google stats. Often one keeps dropping in and out all the time. You notice that? I don't think it's very accurate. People on Wi-Fi it probably doesn't recognise, you know, when it updates.
Paul, yeah, sure. Doesn't matter.
Porton Down Chemical and Biological Research Facility. Porton Down is a top-secret facility in Wiltshire. Chemical and biological experiments take place there. They include work on decontamination, biological warfare, radiation treatment, and management. Of course, that is all we know. Such is the absolute secrecy of the facility. Perhaps not surprising then that the military units were to transport their cargo to such a base. Upon reaching Porton Down, the whistleblower revealed to Dodd the most remarkable part of his account. Although he and his men would view events from behind screens, they were transparent, and no effort came to stop them peeking through the gaps. Scientists opened the boxes, and inside each was a grey alien-type creature. Each lay in decontamination chambers, presumably done at the site of the crash. Upon the removal of the creatures from the chambers, it became obvious how frail they were. It also became apparent how not of this world they also were. In the days that followed their journey and transportation of the 2 crates, rumors began to swirl among the units that some of the cargo contained live aliens. All units received strict instructions not to talk about the incident even among themselves. The leaked documents and alien map of Russ Kellett in late 2018, stories began to appear of a UFO researcher, Russ Kellett, who claimed to not only have in his possession several leaked documents concerning the Berwyn Mountains incident, but also a map that detailed the presence of an alien base in the region. While many, including those in the UFO community, were wary of his claims, they are intriguing, nonetheless. Furthermore, he claims the person behind the map were on the mountainside on the night in question, along with 4 other witnesses to boot. Upon hearing the commotion and indeed the explosion that January night in 1974, they immediately drove to the area. Kellett would state.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Now, Kellett, for one, is known as a dodgy guy, as researcher in the UK now, okay? I don't believe this story. I think it's hoaxed, and I think it's part of a disinformation campaign. But anyway, the claims have been made, so we're going to have to follow it up as we go. So please carry on with the text then. I don't believe this 5 alien bodies recovered stuff at all.
No. But we've heard that with the Roswell thing as well, haven't we? So
yeah, of course. You can't get a good UFO crash without a few alien bodies in the mix, can we?
No.
Yeah, the 5 witnesses known as the 5 wise men.
So we've got a picture there too. Got to kick it off.
The 5 witnesses saw a strange object and got out to have a look, but the military were there and told them to leave. Kellett claims the map came into his possession following a lecture he had given in the early 2000s on the case. A mystery person offered it to him, although there is nothing known regarding their identity. They did pass on their research to Kellett, though, and combined with Kellett's own investigations, the information is revealing and, if true, quite explosive. It would suggest the Berwyn Mountain incident was not one of a by-chance UFO crash landing, but one of provocation by the military themselves. You can view a picture of the map below. Military photo flash exercise to blame. While the claims need to be taken with a cautionary pinch of salt, there is no doubt that there is a wealth of UFO activity in this particular area of Wales. And what's more, considerable activity also takes place off the Welsh coast. Indeed, Kellett is far from the only person to suggest that some kind of extraterrestrial base or gateway might exist in the region. According to Kellett's claims, he would receive a leaked official document composed by the Martin and Coast Guard Agency, Merc. The document confirmed that an official RAF exercise took place just hours before the apparent crash of the UFO. Furthermore, they would witness at least 80 flashes off the North Wales coastline. Kellett would further state, there is no doubt there is an alien base under the sea on the North Wales coastline where they build all their crafts. Why would the military want or need to light up the sea with 80 photo flash bombs if they weren't looking for submersible objects? I think they knew there was a base under the sea, and they did it to light up the area, so they knew where to attack. It just seems like too much of a coincidence that this took place on exactly the same day as the Berwyn Mountains incident. Kellett would go even further, claiming it was his belief that the result of the RAF mission was they kicked off one hell of an incident. According to the UFO investigator, a battle of sorts ensued, with 3 alien crafts emerging from the water. One was shot down straight away, while one escaped to a destination unknown. The last of them, however, was the one that was shot down over the Berwyn Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. It's one hell of a story. Let's keep going.
Oh, damn. Accidentally clicked it. Where did we get to? Further witnesses, I think. Ah, damn, it's going to select the whole page. Come on, get off it.
Further witnesses and grim far-reaching consequences. More and more witnesses would step forward as the case, like many would-be forgotten encounters, enjoyed renewed interest thanks to the internet. The aforementioned Kellett, for example, would provide ample witness statements and affidavits to boot. One such further group of witnesses was a group of fishermen who claimed to see several flying saucers surface from the icy waters of the Irish Sea on the night of the alleged crash in the Welsh mountains. Furthermore, Kellett claims one of these extraterrestrial crafts even attacked one of the Royal Navy ships in the water. During a documentary on the incident in 2011, local resident Geraint Edwards would claim to have witnessed a bizarre saucer-like craft hovering over the mountains on the night of the 23rd of January. He would claim, it was definitely a flying saucer. It was a pity I didn't have a camera because it was there for at least 10 minutes. Just hovering. It looked like a rugby ball, but the ends were more pointy. When it took off, it just went like lightning. There was also the apparently leaked documents from a group by the name of Aerial Phenomena Inquiry Network, APEN. They would seemingly provide various UFO groups with these documents, which were widely accepted to be genuine or very good fakes. Some UFO researchers would ponder whether the information was actually disinformation to cover up the actual events. Events involving the crash of an alien craft. Even more intriguing, if grim, were the claims made to the aforementioned Jenny Randalls by a Sunday Express science correspondent. They would claim that a cluster of leukemia cases had occurred dating back to the mid to late 1972. They had initially suspected the Rouse-Fine nuclear power station. However, as more information on the alleged UFO crash came to light, they suspected a connection.
It's funny how it reads it as seconds. You stupid AI. Yeah, I don't think people can hear you when it's reading.
Okay.
Yeah, best to wait till it finishes.
Yeah, I was just saying it was APEN, a very mysterious, sinister group, and I actually contacted 5 people. I contacted Earl, contacted Finn, Chris. None of them knew anything about it. They all got back to me. The other 2 who I thought would know a bit more about this group haven't returned my message. So, but I've got something to go on anyway.
Right. Now on to the black Phantom helicopters.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Unless they're not black. I don't know.
Well, this is a genuine event that went from 1973 right through into early 1974. So it covers this incident, and I believe it's Nicholas Redfern who actually made a correlation between the Berwyn Mountains incident and these Phantom black helicopters. So carry on, anyway, Paul.
The presence of phantom helicopters. We have examined the seemingly bizarre connection of phantom helicopters, ominous, black, unmarked vehicles that seem to appear in and around UFO sightings. What is interesting is that, according to UFO researcher and author Nick Redfern in his book A Covert Agenda, many witnesses would claim to have seen such dark, grim helicopters in the run-up to and immediately after the incident in question. What's more, it would appear that there was some kind of ultra-secret clandestine operations taking place in the shadows of the British authorities. For example, according to Redfern's research, multiple sightings of these black helicopters came in from around September 1973, often at the same time as UFO sightings, with many incidents coming from the Derbyshire area. And what's more, they would continue well into January 1974. Furthermore, a little over a week before the Berwyn Mountains incident, police forces in the north of England would receive a private alert to keep an eye out for any unusual helicopter activity. Just for the record, these sightings by police of strange helicopter activity are on the record and very much fact. Also, the fact is that such sightings began to drastically drop following the Berwyn incident. What is also of interest is that many of the human mutilation cases occur in the woodlands and countryside under the skies of Derbyshire, the same stretch of northern England many of the mysterious helicopter sightings. What's more, the notion of prior knowledge which Redfern also alludes to, including joint CIA and British intelligence projects, is one that other conspiracy theorists and researchers have also claimed. Further still, another UFO crash incident occurred just over 2 decades later in 1997 over the Howden Moors. And what's more, that conspiracy-fueled case also featured reports of mysterious, black, unmarked helicopters around the crash site.
Okay. So, hopefully the audio is not corrupted. Crash site, got down to there. Howden Moors, so that seems to ring a bell for the other case we were looking at, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Howden Moors case, yeah. I'm familiar with it, but I haven't researched it thoroughly, so I don't know at this stage.
Okay, Ellie's back with us again.
Yeah, she's been here the whole time.
Is she? How's the audio sound in there, Shelley? Did I select it all again by mistake? Why does it do that? I don't know. That'll do for now, I suppose.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What's Ellie saying?
Treat it in bite-sized pieces because I need to talk as these bits are going on, Paul.
Okay. Wells not in photograph. Saw one guy making a comment referring to her when I search her name. What's she talking about? She is messing with spoofed server. She's talking about that UK hacker, I think.
Gary McKinnon.
No, the one that hacked her computer. Yeah.
No idea who that would be.
Oh, yes, I do. Can't remember what her name was now. Can't find your email.
Oh, yeah.
Can't
but
find
anyway.
The email is under the About tab. You just have to scroll down. And there's a button there that says click to contact. And then you got to go through the capture to make sure you're not a robot. usual standard thing you do now.
A truly disturbing connection. Staying with the research of Redfern a moment, in the aforementioned A Covert Agenda he relates the account of an anonymous but a confirmed and bona fide source. And it is one that, when we consider the credibility of Redfern himself, surely makes us look at the claims of Kellett of alien bases off the Welsh coast in a more serious light. According to Redfern, the account took place several weeks following the Berwyn Mountains incident. The witness was an employee with the Central Services branch at the Marconi facility near Frimley. One morning, after arriving at work as normal, she immediately sensed anxiety in the air, and several mysterious and unknown visitors to the facility. Many of them, it would turn out, were high-ranking officials with the Ministry of Defense. Going about her business, as usual, she would later speak to a colleague with whom she shared a close friendship. He wouldn't, however, reveal anything to her, other than to say we've had a break-in. However, over the coming days, the anonymous witness would discreetly dig further. What she discovered is mind-blowing, to say the least. The evening prior to the morning which brought with it the high-ranking defense officials to the facility, a security guard performing his usual patrols of the grounds would have an encounter that would change his life forever. He made his rounds passing through long, lonely corridors, which boasted various doors which housed some of the most secretive documents of the British government's intelligence services. As he made his way past one such room, however, an urgent bright blue light clearly leaked from inside and into the corridor. Taking a breath, he prepared to enter the room. Its contents were off-limits during the day to most. They were certainly off-limits now.
Okay.
Yeah, I find there's a big issue with that story as far as I'm concerned. I'm not happy at all with that.
Do you think Nick Redfern is credible, though?
Not all of his work, no.
No.
I tried to contact him as well. He hasn't got back to me.
Now, this is for people down the side chat that want to know where my email address is. There it is on the About tab. You just have to scroll down the bottom, and there's all the links to all my other stuff. And just above is view email address, and you got to click on that. And tick that you're not a robot, and it will give it to you. And you can then click on it, and it will go to your email application automatically. Okay, so do we do a quick audio check here at this stage, just in case no one's actually told us on the side whether the audio was alright?
Well, I'm sure Shelley would have told us now if
and it will give it to you.
The audio was bad.
Click on it, and it will go to your email application automatically.
Oh, it's blurry.
Okay, so I think it's working now. Do we do a quick audio check here at this stage, just in case no one's actually told us on the side whether the audio was alright?
Well, I'm sure Shelley would have told us now if
sounds good, mate.
The audio was bad. Yeah, exactly.
I think we're at the same level too, which is good. I think we've finally got that sorted out. So we got down to here. We have no way of keeping these beings out. That sounds like different what the government probably would be saying once they disclose that UFOs are real. They've got no control of the airspace.
I don't think they're ever going to say that.
You don't think they're going to admit to aliens at all?
They might admit to aliens, but they're not going to say they're not in control of things, are they? It's like chucking a hand grenade for every window of every household in the world.
You never know.
No, somebody'd have to force their hand before they'd say anything like that, mate.
Makes you wonder why they need a space force, though. So there's something more going on there, isn't there? Whether it's other countries in space that we don't know about, that US government wrote about it. Resource, it'll probably be like a land grab or a resource grab, you know how it always happens. but on other planets this time.
We have no way of keeping these beings out. When he burst through the door, however, his mind would struggle to comprehend what he was seeing. Redfern writes, there, literally sifting through pages of top-secret files was a humanoid, but decidedly non-human, creature which quickly materialized before the shot guard's eyes.
Oh, we've run out of characters already. Unbelievable.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like 20 minutes already, is it? Oh, we've done 50.
Yeah.
I guess it could be.
Easily.
Alright, onto the American voice then. You got your dog back.
Yeah,
We have no way of keeping these beings out. When he burst through the door, however, his mind would struggle to comprehend what he was seeing. Redfern writes, there, literally sifting through pages of top-secret files was a humanoid, but decidedly non-human, creature which quickly dematerialized before the shocked guard's eyes. He would go on to state that the blue light emanated from a helmet resting on the creature's head. Perhaps even more concerning was the mental health and ultimate fate of the security guard. According to Redfern's source, within hours he mentally regressed so much he suffered a complete nervous breakdown. He would enter into a military hospital all the while under armed guard. According to the account, no one ever saw or heard from the security guard again. Perhaps most ominous of all, however, was a conversation she would hear taking place in the office of her superior officer. Redfern writes, the following is an almost word-for-word transcript of the relevant section of the conversation. We have no way of keeping these beings out. We just don't know what to do next. If they can get in here, they can get in anywhere. If we accept that Redfern is a very credible researcher, which indeed he is, then does this account tie in with that of Kellett? That there is an unknown and unseen cosmic war taking place right under our collective noses? Was this apparent futuristic reconnaissance mission a direct response to the apparent seeking out and attacking of an underwater alien base? We should note that Redfern in more recent times has changed his overall views on the Berwyn Mountain incident. Although we should also note, in his own words, he remains, as should we all, open-minded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Nicholas Redfern is known for some very outlandish explanations over the years. His explanation of Roswell is more sinister than aliens. Some of the stuff he's doing now with like communism and UFOs, and you know how they've used it all against each other over the years, is a bit like crazy as hell and all. But then I don't know. He did some good research. I remember I read a book of his years ago when this was when Nick Pope was just out of his desk and everything, and he said there was another project going on other than the desk that Nick Pope was holding at the time, which was Air Force 2B, wasn't it, or Air Force 2A? So it was something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah. And he was proved to be right in the end, because Project Condine was going on behind Nick Pope back the whole time. Either that or Nick Pope was either denying it. Well, he was either denying it or he didn't know about it.
Well, he was the secretary.
Well,
office clerk.
I mean,
clerk.
He was just a clerk then at the time. So yeah.
He's just a greenhorn. Had no access to stuff.
But Nick Pope was absolutely convinced if there was anything else going on, he would know about it. He would know. He was convinced he'd know about it.
Don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
And Redfern, does he go to Contact in the Desert? Because anyone that goes to Contact in the Desert, I sort of know straight away they're pushing their merchandise and a wee bit bullshitty, and I don't never trust anyone that goes to those conventions. And that's probably. And
I think he's if you look at Nick Redfern's site or going to Amazon, he's wrote more books than Jesus, man. I tell you what.
What is his name?
I think he's wrote about 60-70 books, authored about 60-70 books.
Redfern. It's spelled Redfern, as in bird.
Yeah.
Okay, Redfern, Nick. Does it do contact in the desert? Contact in the desert, CITD.
Oh, no, man, you need to Nick Redfern, Amazon.
Yeah, I just want to know if he goes to...
You see, let's get a whole host of books out.
Oh, right, there you go, look. Contact in the desert.
Yeah, I know it's associated with that book.
Oh, do you? Looks like he's here. Books. How many books has he got? Oh,
Okay, just 1 second.
Bigfoot as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, every monster on the planet he's wrote a book about. Real or not.
What? All those? 2011? That can't be all his, surely. Is it? Does say his name at the bottom. He must be working with other co-writers, though. Surely. Man in Black, I remember that one. 2015. This guy obviously lives off books. Problem is, we don't know how many books he sells, right? On the Trail, on Saucer, something, Spies. Wow. Oh, I didn't want to click on that. So, how many there? Monster books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and I think there was 5 at the fact. 35 books or 40 books. I was wondering if he gets time to do anything, because writing a book would take at least 6 months to a year. You would think. Looks like Robert's gone though. The Real Men in Black, so he's got 2 books on that. He's worse than Alien Con guys. Alien Abduction Files. The Bigfoot book. Monster Hunter. Siberian Mysteries. Black Diary. The Monster Book. Right. World's Weirdest what? Weirdest something, I can't quite read it. Places, okay.
Yeah,
so,
but okay, I mean, we've established he's written a whole host of books, hasn't he? So
yeah, 40.
I thought it was more than that, but anyway.
Well, that's the ones it shows here anyway. So yeah, how much money would he be making from all that, you reckon?
I don't know. It depends how well they sell.
Well, he's certainly got captive hiddens that a lot of people would be thinking. So if he sold 40 books and he sold 1 million copies each, say, he would have like 40 million.
That's an awful lot. That's an awful lot to hope to sell.
Yeah, but I still reckon he'd probably have a few $1 million out of all that, though. But anyway.
Yeah. But of course, the heading is the Berwyn Mountains case, and we're not doing very well on it, are we?
Aren't we? That's going all right.
No, we haven't even got through the introduction part.
All right, haven't even got to the right voice thing. Well, you went away.
Other sightings, if we are to believe the whistleblower in this particular instance, and other statements and eventually declassified documents appear to corroborate his version of events, then we might ask what is going on at some of these secret military bases. And what are the claims of alien bases, and even alien human, agreements, put in place decades ago by people in the highest of political positions? Further to that, what of the claims of human cattle mutilation? Many of the alleged incidents have involved top-secret military units from various countries, apparently operating on a moment's notice and with prior knowledge of UFO and extraterrestrial activity. We have written before on how active the area over the Welsh Mountains and along the Welsh coastline is. And the strange activity continues today, further fueling theories of alien bases being present in this part of the world. Just one of these incidents occurred in 2015, where a strange object was hovering over the Berwyn Mountains. It remained in the grey Welsh skies for around 40 seconds, before descending and vanishing from view. Sightings continue on a regular basis, and many insist, so does the interaction between alien races and, top-level, human beings. A bizarre notion to get your head around perhaps, but also one that is acquiring more and more credibility as reports and incidents such as this one continue to prove to be all but complete fact. The video below looks at the Berwyn incident in a little more detail, as well as considering the information that has come to light since.
Now that's the end of it, mate. Apart from the end video.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, okay, there's a lot to go over here. And I think the next thing that we need to look at is these phantom helicopters.
Right. Do you want to look at your pictures yet?
Eh?
You want to talk about your pictures yet?
No, not just yet, Paul. Pictures are kind of irrelevant until later.
Okay. Where's your link?
Leaving it now. There you go. No messing.
Right. We generally get more people joining around about now anyway, because we pushed it an hour forwards.
Yeah.
But
Let's waste no more time now. There's a lot to go through, Paul. And this article is written by Nick, okay? You can see that.
Yep.
Let's just see where these helicopters were actually congregated.
how much do you want to read, though?
Well, all of it if possible.
Yeah, but you want to pause in between, you said, so...
Well, yeah, just do a couple of paragraphs at a time, then.
I think it's grabbed a wee bit extra words there, but we'll see how it goes.
Phantom helicopters of the UK. Nick read from April 25th. 2013 Facebook, Twitter, Google+, in the latter part of 1973. A series of distinctly unusual events began to quietly unfold above the green fields and rolling hills of northern England that subsequently triggered a strange, and still ongoing operation coordinated by an elite division of the British police force. It all revolved around the phenomenon of phantom helicopters. Of the varied elements that make up what is popularly known as the UFO phenomenon, there can be few so strange as the phantom helicopter and its close relative, the even more sinister black helicopter. For at least 4 decades, numerous people throughout the world have reported seeing helicopters, very often completely black in color and with no identifying markings, in areas that have been subjected to intense UFO activity. This has led a number of commentators to speculate that the helicopters are operated by covert groups from within the military-industrial complex and that they are involved in a surreptitious UFO monitoring program. Many such cases, if not the overwhelming majority, surface from within the United States. Few people, however, realize that Britain had its own run-in with the phantom helicopters in a specific period of time that ran from late 1973 to early 1974. It was a run-in which ultimately attracted high-level, official interest and concern. Indeed, it was revealed in the press on January 15, 1974 that police forces throughout the north of England had been alerted to look out for any unusual helicopter movements in their vicinity. For 6 months, night sightings of unidentified helicopters had been filed in both Cheshire and Derbyshire, something confirmed by Cheshire police, who stated the following: "We don't know of any reason why the helicopter should make these trips at night. Obviously we are anxious to find out." Apart from anything else, the helicopter crosses one of the main flight paths to Manchester Airport. There is an obvious danger to the aircraft going into the airport. We are very interested to know what is happening. We hope to be able to trace the pilot and put some suggestions to him. It would appear the pilot is in breach of civil aviation laws. A special license is needed to fly a helicopter at night. A spokesperson for Derbyshire Police added. All sorts of things spring to mind, but we have pretty much ruled out that it is anything to do with illegal immigrants, and nothing appears to have been stolen in the areas where the aircraft has been sighted.
Okay, so there was obviously concern about these helicopters, for there to be a police investigation in the first place, and they didn't seem to know where they were coming from, did they? Whether the military, black budget, or whatever. They were clearly up to something. You know, there was a high concentration over that period of time, which lasted about 8 months. So we're looking for drug runners or terrorists, or it's more plausible than aliens at this stage, isn't it?
Yep. So screwing up a bit here.
Now Cheshire. Okay, you see Cheshire, that is very close to Berwyn.
There we go. I've managed to get that much. Yeah,
okay, just a few miles away, so could be some relevance.
Yeah. Do we bring it up on the map and have a look?
No. It's close by. It's within 10 miles or so.
Although Cheshire Police expressed their opinion that only one helicopter was involved in the nighttime sorties, Staffordshire Police admitted on January 16 that their officers had received details of no less than 50 encounters with the Phantom helicopter across Staffordshire, Cheshire and Derbyshire, while the reasoning behind the following conclusion was never disclosed. Staffordshire Police said that their inquiries had led them to believe that the Phantom helicopter mystery originated in the London area, and added that whoever was flying the craft was either highly skilled or completely crackers. Still more Phantom helicopter reports surfaced in Staffordshire, this time near the town of Newcastle-under-Lyme. In response to inquiries made by the Birmingham Post newspaper, police confirmed that they had received several reports of it being heard in the north of the country. All traffic controllers report that no flight plans for a helicopter have been filed. We do not know what it is up to. Darley Moore. Derbyshire was the site of a strange incident in the early hours of January 18th. An unnamed person informed police that they had seen a single, bright light, flying at an unspecified altitude over the moor. Derbyshire Police declined to speculate as to whether or not there was a connection with the helicopter sightings, but confirmed that an investigation had been set in motion. The probability that a number of helicopters were responsible for the many accounts on record is supported by the fact that a multitude of additional reports surfaced on January 18th. The county of Cheshire was the location once again, and reports poured in from Bramhall, Prestbury, and Scholar Green. More sightings of unusual aerial lights and Phantom helicopters were reported throughout mid-January 1974. Possibly one of the last recorded encounters of this particular wave took place on the evening of January 24, 1974. When Paul Jelling, sub-editor at the Birmingham Evening Mail newspaper, saw a white ascending light in the sky at Aston Cadlow, near Stratford-upon-Avon. The light fell from the sky and seemed to explode into blue and green, said Jelling.
We got down to there.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's all interesting, and you've got the IRA, the Irish Republican Army, that were active in the country at that time, which is why I mentioned the terrorist factor.
Yeah.
So I think that's far more likely than. And let's go down and finish the article.
I don't think they talked about the UFO making any sound whatsoever. No humming, no humming type noise.
No. Some over Bala did hear a humming type noise, but they know a helicopter there, believe me. I mean, there's so many search and rescue things go on in that area because those mountains, they claim a few lives every year, you know. And search and rescue, so the locals there, they know a damn helicopter when they hear one.
Seem to explode into blue and green. So that's another, maybe a clue there, what it was, maybe.
Precisely who was flying the oddly elusive Phantom helicopter was never fully resolved. At least, not to the satisfaction of the public and the media. Numerous theories were formulated within the corridors of power. However, with much of the attention focused upon the possibility that the many and varied helicopter sightings were linked with the activities of the Irish Republican Army, IRA. Following a series of phantom helicopter encounters in and around the area of Buxton, Derbyshire, the Metropolitan Police Special Branch initiated an operation to try and resolve what was taking place. Special Branch studied 12 encounters reported to police in Derbyshire in September 1973. Including one actually filed by police personnel, who reported a positive identification of an Augusta Bell 206A Jet Ranger helicopter. And as Special Branch ominously noted in its now declassified files on the matter.
What's happened?
Yeah, MI5, maybe dodgy little group like UK intelligence. I think they were up to something. There's no question of that.
What's MI stand for again?
Say again?
What's MI stand for the people out there that don't know?
Military intelligence.
Right. Industrial military.
Yeah, you got MI5 and you got MI6. MI5 is military intelligence internal, as in the UK. MI6 is external, as in foreign countries.
Right.
But you'd be surprised. You'd think they were the only branches of intelligence in the UK, but it's not. There's like 8 or 10 of them. Trust me.
Then you got the SAS as well, haven't you?
Oh well, yeah. Well, that's special forces, which isn't considered intelligence.
They just get.
Although they could operate with intelligence, of course.
The machine was observed on a number of occasions over a period of 2 weeks to be apparently practicing landings in the vicinity of the sites of quarries and explosive stores in the Derbyshire countryside. Special Branch Constable Deleted has made numerous inquiries to discover the ownership and reasons for the flights from various sources but has yet to establish any positive facts. He has contacted an experienced Royal Air Force helicopter pilot with night flying experience who explained that night flying in the Derbyshire areas would be extremely dangerous due to the nature of the terrain and to the number of overhead pylons in the area.
Okay,
that looks like a fire going there.
So whatever was flying around is clandestine. That's for sure. Yeah.
There's Nick Redfern.
Yeah, just read out the last bit, and we're good to go then to move on to the next bit. We do have a bit to go through.
The report concluded that there was a strong possibility of the flights being of an illegal nature. Sightings of the Phantom helicopters continued through March 1974-something that prompted a meeting to be held at Horseferry House, London, on the 21st of that month that was attended by senior officers from the Derbyshire and Cheshire Constabularies, Special Branch, the Home Office, and the Ministry of Defence. Intriguing and eye-opening plans to utilize Harrier jump jet aircraft and Ministry of Defence helicopters in response to Phantom helicopter encounters were deemed too costly and ultimately impractical. A unanimous agreement was reached, however, for a continual monitoring of the situation, if indeed such action was considered necessary. As it transpired, however, no further reports were filed, and the Home Office asserted that the helicopter and the pilot were never identified. For some, the mystery lingers on.
Oh, you dropped off there, Robert?
Yeah.
On the video, it said you disappeared.
Okay. Yeah, I could hear you. Yeah, I heard the reader stop for a second as well. I'm not sure what that was about.
I think we got a crackle as well now. So I'm just gonna restart it here just in case. Oh, what's going on there? Are you back? Are you there, Robert?
Yeah, I'm back.
That sounds better. Something strange happened there. Oh, we just got an earthquake. Speaking of earthquakes.
Yeah. So, are you breathing heavy there? Is it warm?
My nose is all bunged up with allergies.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as it's not Men in Black. Keep this breathing sound there.
I think we got a little
Anyway, I've left a
earthquake.
tab for you there, Paul.
Yeah, the bed wobbled. Still wobbling. I just wonder if we're getting an earthquake. Or maybe a paranormal visit again. Strange. Something's going on here. Another link. Okay.
Yeah, so looking now at the mischievous APEN. Aerial Phenomena Inquiry Network, as they call themselves. And they were predominant through the 70s and the 80s. And what their agenda is, we'll just have to have a look and see.
Okay, and we sort of hit this side thing over the top of your face. Aerial Phenomenon Inquiry Network. APEN for short. So you want me to read out some of this?
Yeah, sure, if it's going to work. If not, I'll have to read it out myself. It's not a problem.
The Aerial Phenomena Inquiry Network, usually shortened to APEN, is an unknown group of investigators that specialize in the field of UFOs who regularly contact researchers via letter and cassette tape offering pieces of information, yet never supply contact details. They were first encountered in 1974 when British UFO researcher Jenny Randalls received a 1-hour-length audio cassette tape through the post. Contained on the tape was an introduction from a male American voice claiming to be someone called J.T. Anderson, Supreme Commander of APEN. The tape contained television and radio broadcasts of UFO reports, occasionally interrupted by other voices, terrified and in panic, claiming that UFOs were hostile and the listener should be wary of their nature and intentions.
Yeah. So there we go. And you know, this wasn't a one person nutcase job. There was plenty of them. And they actually moved into a hotel. This is what the whole thing's about now. They moved into a hotel. I think it was in Bala. I don't remember which hotel it was now, but they were there for several days, and they were going up into the mountains, seemingly because of this UFO incident. And they stayed for a couple of weeks, didn't talk to any of the locals before they left. And a lot of them, according to the staff at the hotel, had American accents. Very unusual. Carry on.
Yep, I was just checking the volume levels there, see if it's clicking or crackling. You want me to read out more of it? Well, we got some other link. What do you want me to do?
We need to read out all of it.
You want to read out all of it? So we got to the end.
All of it, yes. Need to try and get to the bottom of this.
Communication edit between December 1974 and April 1975 UFO researchers around the United Kingdom received letters through the post from APEN, sometimes containing cassette tapes. The letters were a mixture of advice, information and references to APEN's organizational structure. The letters, although on headed note paper, contained no contact information, and as a result all communication with APEN was one way. The format of the letters received was also strange, using a lot of bureaucratic references. For example, code equals 7 case number 174L74 to 71/349 Saint classification equals Jasmine clearance date equals 02DE74. Personal contact edit. There have been occasions where APEN have contacted UFO researchers in person, such as an incident in October 1975 where two men visited a Buff-RM member, Peter Bottomley, at his home in Manchester. They introduced themselves as APEN operatives, and added that they would prefer not to give names. After a confusing explanation of APEN's organizational structure, something which was echoed on the cassette tapes first sent to researchers, they explained to Bottomley that their intentions of staying secretive were necessary as they could work more efficiently in this manner. The two men then explained to Bottomley that they had been required to pick a neutral, and that he was their choice. However, they could not disclose how they had come to this decision. They gave him an address and enlisted phone number as well as a code so that he could be identified. He was to help them as a go-between in investigations and would be paid expenses in return for his help. Bottomley discussed this with his wife as well as other UFO researchers, and after dwelling on the offer, decided that helping APEN would not be in his own interest due to the distrust for them which he encountered with the other researchers. Someone claiming to be from APEN telephoned Bottomley at his home address a few weeks later. Bottomley politely declined their offer and he never heard from them again.
Sort of UK Men in Black, huh?
Well, with American accents, it sounds more like a mixed group, to be honest. It sounds kind of... and the thing is, it's either disinformation or it's a group that's out there that's trying to get the truth out in their own way. Maybe a bunch of ex-government officials that know what's going on. But the way, and the thing is, it's really confusing that this far right wing stuff they're pushing as well is it's all very strange and sinister. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, I contacted Earl, contacted Finn, contacted Chris, a couple of other people. Nobody knows about this group, but I'd heard of them years ago.
Right.
And they're not pleasant. They don't sound like pleasant people. And when they want to meet, up, they want to meet in dark places. I mean, are you really going to go and meet a group of people in a dark place in the middle of the night when you don't know what their real agenda is? Well, no, probably not. If you've got family and wife and stuff like that, you know. So where do these people come from? Because they know a hell of a lot. That's one thing. That is for sure. They know a hell of a lot. They knew Jenny Randall's new location.
Did they get any
to a house before anyone else knew it? And she only gave that location away to one good friend, apparently. So, whoa, what's going on?
Nothing. I just wonder if you're corrupt on the gang. Is there any pictures on security camera of these people?
Good God, no.
Because
this is Bala in the 1970s, Paul. There would have been no security cameras.
No. No one took a photograph or anything of them as they were leaving the house. So
not to my knowledge, but you can't deny they existed.
Right. Yeah, so read out the next bit then. Sinister.
Sinister behavior at a part of Bottomley's decision to decline APEN's offer was reached through talking to the UFO researcher, Jenny Randalls. A few weeks after Bottomley's telephone call, Randalls moved house. On entering her newly bought home, she found a "Welcome to your new home" card from APEN. Inside it read, "Never call anyone bigger than yourself stupid." A UFO group based in the East Midlands were victims of what looked like a burglary which had been attempted in the middle of the night. The offenders had entered a property belonging to the group and left without taking anything. However, an untidy search of files containing UFO reports had been carried out. A few days later, the group received a letter from APEN apologizing for the behavior of its local agents. In the 80s, APEN contacted one UFO group regarding the Rendlesham Forest incident in Suffolk. They requested that members of this group meet them in the middle of the night at a railway station some distance away from where any of the members lived. They were offering to tell the group the truth about the incident and a government plan to create fake office. Understandably, the group did not respond or take up the invitation.
What's interesting, those train stations generally do have security cameras, though, eh?
Yeah, well, we don't know that they came by train, do we?
Well, they said they're going to meet at a station. That's the least place you want to go, public, you know, where it's got cameras. Back in the 70s, like you said, maybe they
Well, we did actually knock on the door of one researcher. Two of them did anyway.
Yeah. It sounds very much like the targeted individuals. You remember the episode I did with the Kiwi girl that was talking about how they were entering their house while she's out?
Yes, I do recall that.
That's a good one. I'll find it while we read out the next bit.
Yeah.
A hoax.
Politics said it during interviews in 2006 regarding an upcoming publication. Author and ufologist Nick Redfern made claims that he believed that APEN had a far right-wing agenda, were forming an underground organization and were being investigated by Special Branch. Redfern mentions that APEN manipulated and spread misinformation amongst various British UFO groups in the form of smear campaigns, false allegations, etc. in an attempt to undermine the groups, fraction them and ultimately bring them together under the umbrella of APEN. UFO researchers would be duped into believing they were joining a group with similar interests without realizing APEN's political agenda. Some of the cassette tapes sent to UFO researchers included a sound of Nazi marching and Nazi marching music. Hoax said that many researchers chose to ignore the correspondence from APEN, putting it down to an individual or a group of people playing games with the UFO community. To this day, no one has ever stepped forward to publicly admit that the APEN organization is a hoax, or to take any responsibility for the actions of APEN.
Okay. So I posted a link there to a real case in New Zealand where they claim they got evidence of being targeted.
Yeah, I watched that.
Plus, I put some other stuff on there, images and how they.
You know, just from going through that now, what's your feeling on what type of group they were, and what was their agenda?
Well, I think they might be US government people in New Zealand that have been given.
No. I'm talking about APEN now. Sticking with the case.
All right. I don't know. Could be outside the government even, right?
I think so.
Because I think if it's on government books, there would be more referencing to them. We'd know about it more. Like FBI or CIA, we know about them because they're on the books.
Yeah.
This sounds like it could be like NJ12 investigation group sort of thing, you know? Like a separate entity that goes out there and investigates UFO cases. But this might be...
Okay. Well, the interesting thing here is they had more interest in two cases. Two cases especially they had interest in. And that was the Berwyn Mountains case and the Bentwater's case, which is Rendlesham Forest basically, isn't it?
Yep.
So 2 good cases there, and they seem to take a hell of a lot of interest in both of them. So it kind of lends a little bit of credence to some, you know, to make you think that those 2 cases were genuine.
Yeah, but it does make you think whether this group is actually the Men in Black that probably goes everywhere in the world, right? Maybe this is the official name for it, you know, the Men in Black. Has anyone actually done any connections to it?
Oh my God, I've exhausted that over the last week and you can't get anywhere.
Men in Black.
You can try if you like.
Oh, there we go. It's got to come up with Men in Black probably. Men in Black. It hasn't come up with APEN at all associated in the first lines. So it's not looking. Oh, what we got here? Your way to organisations, UK
you need
headquarters.
To put it in quotes, you might get a better result.
Men in Black International poised to open with 30 million. Oh, that's a TV, the movie.
Yeah. We're going well.
Yeah.
Put it in
so
quotes.
If we put that in quotes, and also that in quotes, I think that changes it.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. But that's what we just read out.
But that's the article that I've just been to.
And oh, here we go. Truth behind Men in Black. The APEN
Let's have a
mystery.
look at that. Yeah, it's Jenny Vandals again, but let's have a look at that.
Yep. Truth behind Men in Black.
Oh.
There you go, it's a book. And that's not red fern by any chance, by the looks of it. No.
No, Jenny.
Okay, so you can't even read out any of it, I suppose. Read the publication. Does it open up something? What's this? Oh, some of the book online. What's it doing? Oh, here we go. It's a virtual book. So far we can't see it. Zoom in. Oh, there we go. But we obviously can't read it out though.
No.
I can post a link to it if you want to check it out later, maybe. APEN and Men in Black connection. MIB. Hopefully it works. Emerson, I think it's on, is it? Oh no, it's not Emerson. So that's no good for us, unfortunately. What else we got? Although it does talk about here.
Mate, I've tried everything to get to the bottom of these guys, and Jesus, man.
Here we go. I got to it here. I got to it. I got to it by using the cache. So
there you go. There's the hotel. Look, see.
What hotel? So we can read out some of it now by using that one. So it's only $6 Canadian. It's not too expensive.
No, it's not.
Okay, we'll read out there because I can't really read that font. It's too faint for me.
I suggest that while you keep ITTO yourself. A man arrived at the hotel and asked to see Billy Doyle. He flashed a card at the reception to indicate he was with the police, at which, of course, he was directed to see the witness straight away. Billy says that he claimed to be some sort of special officer with the CID, but would not be drawn to say more. He was there to investigate Billy's UFO sighting. The two men relocated to an empty room and the stranger asked Billy to tell his story. After he had finished, the stranger said, "What would you say if I asked you not to report this? That it was a government matter?" Billy replied that he would agree, naturally. He was not interested in breaking secrets. The man nodded in return, as if satisfied with the answer, but did not insist on silence. Instead, he simply reasoned with Billy, saying, "You do realize that nobody will ever believe your story. I suggest that you keep it to yourself." Government agents soft-OR visitors from beyond Jenny Randall's St. Martin's paperbacks note, if you purchased this book without a cover, you should be aware that this book is stolen property. It was reported as, and sold and destroyed, to the publisher, and neither the author nor the publisher has received any payment for this strip book. The moral right of the author has been asserted. Published in Great Britain by Judy Pickus, Publishers, Limited THE Truth Behind MEN Black Copyright 1997 Jenny Randall's. All rights reserved.
That sounds pretty serious.
No part of this book may be used or reproduced in any manner whatsoever without written permission, except in the case of brief quotations embodied in critical articles or reviews.
Ooh,
for information, address St. Martin's Press, 175 Fifth Avenue.
I don't know where that's reading that out there. Oh, not able to read out anything unless it's in a presentation. Here's the bit on APEN though. Let's see what that says, because that's relevant to what we're talking about. Whether it's Men in Black or not. Oh, I've gone and selected the wrong one again. If you don't reproduce, why is it on the web?
THE Truth Behind MENIN Black 161 THE APEN Mystery. If you think that the 4 months of antagonism faced by SCU soft-FARI represents a one-off within the UFO field, you would be wrong. There is an even more fantastic MIB-style vendetta against ufology waged by a mysterious organization calling itself APEN. A full account of the APEN affair was published in 1986 in a series of articles for the now-defunct magazine The Unknown.
There you go. We need to find
They
the
made
magazine.
their presence felt in spring 1974 when Ira Soft-saved a 1-hour cassette tape with an American voice in Soft- announcing that he was J.T. Anderson, Supreme Commander of APEN, Aerial Phenomena Inquiry Network. That first APEN tape was full of TV and radio broadcasts on UFOS. Other voices from APEN intruded during the tape. They uttered short messages that were powerful, such as, "Beware, UFOS can be hostile." There was also news that APEN Unit 23 was being set up to probe harassment of ufologists by MIB. Aside from this odd mixture of advice, information, threats and bizarre organizational structure, the tape opened with the chimes of Big Ben, an extract from a German wartime pro-soft-propaganda broadcast, and a Nazi party marching tune played loudly. Most of us assumed that this was all a joke. But then the letters started to arrive. Between December 1974 and April 1, 1975, I got several. Leaders of UFO groups in northern Britain got their own versions. The letters were unheaded stationery, but there was no address to reply to, as there had not been with the tapes. Nobody had any way to contact APEN. It was one-way traffic. Frankly, the format of these tip-every 10 letters was absurd. They were filled with pseudo-bureaucratic language such as code equals 7 equals case no 174L74
So we heard that
to
in the wiki, didn't we?
711,349 Saint classification now
But
equals
you see
Jasmine
now
equals
how
clearance.
it all starts with the Berwyn Mountain incident.
So
This is why this group is so relevant to our case.
definitely
I mean,
connection to
why
Men
would
in
so
Black
many
there.
people? Why would hold on. Why would so many people get involved? So many secretive, high-level people get involved on a case that didn't really happen.
So that's where this Wikipedia probably got that information from, because it sounded very
Sure,
similar.
yeah. The guy who actually wrote the article was on a blog. I seen it myself. Can't remember what he was called, and I was using an internet name. But he was trying to gather information as well, and he said he put that wiki article together as best he could with the information that he had.
Right.
And I couldn't get much on it.
So it's a bit strange that that's on the web, and they're just saying you're not allowed to replicate it. Why is it on the web if it's not allowed to be replicated? It was all sort of available PDF and everything.
Copyright stuff. I don't know, copyright stuff, I suppose. I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Because it's a PDF there, wasn't it? So the whole book looked like it was there. It was just really strange. Why would you give a link to the book? And then to threaten people with it. Obviously, it could be a scam for copyright, of course. Anyway, we just read out a clip of it anyway, so we're under fair use. So we're going to another link, are we?
Yeah, we sure are. But as you can see at this point, it's all getting a little bit scary, isn't it? Okay. Let's go to this Puffin Island thing now.
Right. The Battle of Puffin Island. So we need to bring that up on the map as well, probably.
Yeah, you need to go down to number 9 here.
Yeah, I'll just see if I can get it on the map.
Underwater base of Puffin Island, Wales.
Yeah, I'll get that in a minute.
Okay.
Let's see. Here we go. Way over here. Back over there again.
Oh, what are you looking for?
Puffin Island. There we go.
Oh, wait there, Paul. Just 1 second.
So, Liverpool's up there, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not too far away from us, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manchester.
So I know a lot about this.
The guy that came over to work in university, he was from this place here, Berwyn.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, he was an engineer that I knew.
Oh dear, I think that's too long to
Post.
too much to post. I think it could be the link could be too long. No, try and post it.
Hello, Jeff. Post it in the chat thing then on this program. It doesn't work in the side chat because I don't think there's a limit.
No. Yeah, there's a limit. It's not working.
Yeah, post it in the side chat on here, and I can grab it here. I'm not sure there's a limit. I don't think there is. Probably 2,000 characters if it will be. Probably saying Discord.
Yeah.
We got Jeff
Right.
joining us on the side. Hello, Jeff.
Okay. Hi, Jeff.
We're just trying to get the link to read out the next section that we're looking at.
Yeah. So if you grab the one underneath it, it should have a map on it somewhere, you know.
You haven't posted anything though.
Yeah, hold on, I'll do it again now. Okay.
You posted it in the chat window up here on the.
No, I'll put it on. I'll put it on the YouTube link now, Paul.
You said it was too long though. Okay.
No, that one isn't. Oh, jeez, what's going on here?
Well, we're waiting.
Okay, my fault. My bad.
So, Jeff, have you been with us before? Good damn morning, Americans. We're actually
Okay.
Robert's in UK, and I'm in New Zealand. So, what is it time in America at the moment? 7 a.m. California and about 10 a.m. the rest of the country, I suppose. We've pushed it on an hour, so it starts at noon UK time, which is unfriendly for the USA. We're going to look at splitting the live into 2 1.5 hours, and have one midweek and the second part on Saturday, like we normally do. But we'll see how it goes. It's loading something. 10 alleged underwater alien bases.
Go to number 9.
Puffin Island. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. This is the east coast of Anglesey. And Puffin Island is, yeah. So anyway, read that out and you can see what they've got to say there.
Yep.
It's not a big deal.
Numerous sightings of the strange lights leaving and entering the sea around Puffin Island, Wales, has led some ufologists to believe that the area may be home to an underwater alien base. A spate of sightings in early 1974 were particularly interesting to investigators. All spoke of not just lights, but solid objects that were seen leaving the sea near the island. UFO investigator Phil Hoyle stated that he has heard and read various unconnected reports concerning Puffin Island and that all of them tell the same story and describe the same type of phenomenon. He also stated that alleged alien abductees close to the area have reported that their abductors were humanoid and told them they came from a base under the sea near the island. There are even some theories that the area itself may be the ancient legendary kingdom of Cantrell and that these humanoids are their descendants. Hoyle believes that the ties to an ancient site and the current UFO activity shouldn't be downplayed, stating that according to his research, there is an 80% increase in such activity on or around ancient sites worldwide.
What's interesting there, Robert, is the blue people thing I did. They're called the Men of Munch. I think it's the strait where that is actually. Just have a look at that sometime.
Well, it's in the Irish Sea. It's just off the east coast of Anglesey, and I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah, Munch, I think it's called. The Scottish word, is it?
We don't use Scottish words in Anglesey.
Munch is a capital and most populous city.
That's Munich. That's Munich, is Germany.
I got the wrong spelling of it. Munch. Probably be in the description. But This talks about it. There was an asteroid impact in that sea that we're looking at now, which could quite
That
easily.
was the Irish Sea, Paul.
I think it's off the coast of Wales as well, North England.
North England would be the North Sea.
Well,
Anglesey would be the Irish Sea. I live here, mate.
Let's see. I'm just trying to see. I'm not sure if the meteorite impact was that whole region there. But you'd have to look at my episode again, because I talk about the
meteorite impact, according to this case we're following now, was basically around Lake Bala.
No, there was a big, massive meteorite hit, they reckon, that happened to create that region here. It's in my episode that talks about an ancient meteorite, because they talked about undersea UFO bases in the RSC around here. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, what I seen personally was only like a few feet above the sea when it was skimming along.
Yeah,
scared the hell out of us both. And what someone else seen, possibly on the same day, was something that came out of the Irish Sea, just off North Stack, and you got very close to it there.
So I'm not sure.
Came out of the sea.
I'm not sure if the meteorite impact was here or up here.
Okay.
But it was very interesting what was being said about it.
All right, you'll have to share that with me.
Yeah, it's in the episode anyway.
Okay.
In fact, if there was
one
going
up Glasgow way now, if you look at the sea beyond there, you'll find that's the North Sea rather than the Irish Sea.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what what the place was, Minch or something like that. Why has it done that? I was trying to open it up. This player. I'll probably have it in the description. Hang on, let's see. Humanoid sea creatures. Stories and myths could be based on factual evidence and science.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't put enough details in there though. But I think, let's see if I can find the bits where they're talking about ancient meteorite hits. Let's see. I think that's just a story about it. And this is where mermaids come into it as well. Mermans, they call them, undersea bases. Pretty sure I found a clip talking about... Oh, here we go. Minch, spelled with an I. The blue men of Minch, called storm kelpies of all things. Kelpies normally...
the kelpies, I've heard of them. Yeah, that goes back down history, yeah, sure.
Minch, let's see. So, have we got it on the map? North Minch, Scottish Gaelic. So it goes back to maybe it was Vikings that were had some South African slaves, which they paint themselves in this blue paint, and that's where
no. That's Gaelic. That's Celtic.
Oh, Gaelic, Scottish Gaelic. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it talks about the volcano impact that I found to add to the story in this episode. Here we go. Must be around here somewhere. Scottish rocks formed by meteorite. So it talks about it here on this article. I'm not sure if I put a map in it. Probably not. But I'll say if there's a meteorite impact there would have been fragments that sort of sprayed off everywhere. Could easily created the caverns, right? So go and check out the story anyway. Do some more research on it. And that's a really old episode I did too, back in 2017. So Where do we go from here? Is there another link? Did I miss something?
Which I gave you some time ago, Paul, but you've gone on another tangent.
Was it that one? Not tangent, because I think when you get meteorite hits that leave a big crater, right? Obviously, it's going to leave caverns, which could back up the claims of seeing lights in the sea, right? So obviously, the UFO sightings may even go back to that blue people thing. I think that's the same link.
Don't think so.
No, that's the only link you gave me.
Okay. This was supposed to be moving on quite nicely, but
it is moving on.
All right then. Okay, here we go.
We even got extra like, you see, but the person's obviously gone because they've got to go work probably or something. And often people come back and re-watch it, right?
Okay.
So I'm still waiting for a post.
I have. It's done.
No, that's me. Me at the bottom.
Like that. Let me redo it.
I think it's too long again.
No, I don't that's the case. Let's have a look. Try now.
Yep, that works. I think it's speeding up too now as well. I don't think there's any lag between us like there was.
We can hear a little bit of feedback, but it's not an issue.
And yeah, I can't hear any feedback. Yeah, so we got spaceships landed.
Yeah.
Note, no spelling corrections. What's that got to do with it? Oh well. Looks like it wanted to select all that, so we might as well kick it off.
Yeah, this is done by Scott Felton, which is one of the leading investigators on the Berwyn Mountains case.
Well, that's interesting because the guy that went to university with me, his name was John Felton, that I was talking about before.
So what?
Well, it's just funny that it's the same name, last name.
Spaceships landed off Anglesey Coast. Among the many articles that have appeared on the internet over the years regarding the Berwyn Mountains UFO incident. This particular item tells the story of how depth charges were used to locate one alien craft at Puffin Island. Russ Kellett, the UFO researcher who was informed of photo flash by letter, has recently said that he did not suggest that the depth charging and naval engagement took place at, near or around Puffin Island. However, we have heard Kellett mention Puffin Island as being where the altercation occurred, as well as read Same and Stephen Lumley's book The Berwyn Mountains Incident Revealed. Please see the Battle of Puffin Island. The following article was written by Geraint Jones for the North Wales Chronicle in January 2011. Unfortunately, if one goes to the original website address, the article is no longer available. Note, no spelling corrections have been made to this original article. Spaceships landed off Anglesey Coast. Claims UFO expert, Wales crash info by Geraint Jones. Alien spaceships under the sea might sound like the stuff of fiction. But a UFO researcher claims that an incident off the shores of Anglesey could be the best evidence yet of an infamous North Wales close encounter. However, UFO expert Russ Kellett said that a Coast Guard document backed his theory that one of 3 alien craft found off the coast of Anglesey crashed into Lake Bala and caused the Berwyn Mountain incident January 23, 1974. He said, "This information that I have unleashed is a sort of holy grail. The Ministry of Defense released documents a year ago and there was nothing about military activity." The researcher, who has investigated the office for 23 years, said that the Marine Coast Guard document revealed that a military exercise called Operation Photo Flash was underway from Liverpool Bay to the North Wales coast on the night of the Berwyn incident. Russ believes that the operation used depth charges to locate one alien craft at Puffin Island, another off the Anglesey coast and a further ship near Bangor. The spaceships then shot out of the sea and into the air. Russ said that a group of men discovered one of the silver flying saucers while the aliens emerged from one of the crashed ships on a roadside near Landrillo. He said, they were slim humanoid creatures, about 5 ft 6 inches tall, with gray skin and wore jumpsuits with belt kits on them. Russ added that the men watched the Soliders load the aliens into a vehicle and drive away. The researchers believed that the MOD had not released the information to prevent public panic. He said, you have got something that travels about under the sea without detection and can fly. What a piece of engineering that is. People are going to get really worried, because this is what I call super technology. Russ also claims to have several fragments of one of the craft. Documents released by the MOD last year support the theory that a meteor shower caused the bright lights and earthquake experienced by residents near the Berwyn incident's epicenter at Bala Lake. E&D.
When did that happen? 2011? Or 1974?
No. On exactly the same date as the Berwyn Mountains incident occurred.
Because it sounds very similar to Tic Tac, doesn't it? The Nimitz thing.
Yeah. It's also got more holes in it than Swiss cheese.
Yeah, right. Because they talked about underwater craft and all that.
Yeah. Well, look, mate, I've done my research into Puffin Island. I live on this island of Anglesey, and I know what Puffin Island is. It's about 1,000 yards no more off Amloch. All the water on that east side of the island is extremely shallow.
I think we read all that, didn't we?
There is no place for an alien base, and I tell you what, you could not get a warship in there, yeah? And the only way you'd be dropping depth charges, is to blow your own bloody ship out the water. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's not unlikely, it's impossible. I've looked at the tidal data and everything, and the tide was more out than in at the time.
To Puffin Island, I thought it was here.
And why would you call a project photo flash when you're using photo flash weapons? It's kind of like saying Operation Invade Russia. You're not going to call it that, are you? It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense.
Looks like I must have clicked on something.
But this guy, Russ Keller, has been sucked in by this story, and he believes it. And he put it out in a book, and the book was by a guy called Stephen Lumley, and he put it out in a book.
So they're saying that's where
it's a whole heap of bullshit.
It's not really an island, though, is it? Oh, yes, it is. It's got a bridge.
Yes, it is an island, Paul.
What's that dotted line? Is that by ferry, is it? Or hovercraft?
Yeah, well, it's unoccupied. I mean, it's home to a lot of birds.
And it looks very shallow. It looks very shallow there.
A lot of bunnies.
That looks very
shallow.
Really shallow. I can't
exactly,
see.
pal. Yeah, it's 50. I've done the research. It's 50 foot at high tide. Not even that.
Oh, there's a
boat.
At
low tide, you can almost walk there. I mean, you could almost zoom in on that. It's a speedboat. You're not going to get a warship in those waters.
No, it looks like a reef line there, doesn't it?
And the thing is, they're dropping all their photo flash bombs. They're dropping depth charges. There was a military battle in the skies, and all of a sudden, nobody's seen anything.
Unless it was out here. That looks like it's where it gets steep.
It's not going to get too steep either.
It's quite away from the island, though. I'm not sure how many miles. What's that? 500 meters? Oh, right. It actually might be. 500 meters, 1 kilometer away, where it drips off into the deep sea there, Bolswit.
I can tell you one thing, it's littered with, it's absolutely littered with sea wreckage. You know, boats that have gone down over the years.
Right.
In the shallow waters.
Ellison, Shelley, where are you from? May I ask Jeff? I think he may have left.
Oh, they're just talking down the sideline, Paul.
I think he might have left again. He just dropped in to say hello, but that's it. Okay, so where are we going to? Did we read out all of that? Right. Did we read out the last bit there? I'm not sure now.
I don't know where you've gone at this stage. But, what we need to establish at this stage at Keller is
We'll just read out this little bit here.
it's not
again.
putting out genuine research.
Deft charges the end. Did we get to the bottom there? I'm not sure if we did or not.
Russ believes that the operation used depth charges to locate one alien craft at Puffin Island, another off the Anglesey coast, and a further ship near Bangor. The spaceships then shot out of the sea and into the air. Russ said that a group of men discovered one of the silver flying saucers while the aliens emerged from one of the crashed ships on a roadside near Landrello. He said, they were slim humanoid creatures, about 5 ft 6 inches tall, with gray skin and wore jumpsuits with belt kits on them. Russ added that the men watched the Soliders load the aliens into a vehicle and drive away. The researchers believed that the MOD had not released the information to prevent public panic. He said, you have got something that travels about under the sea without detection and can fly. What a piece of engineering that is. People are going to get really worried, because this is what I call super technology. Russ also claims to have several fragments of one of the craft. Documents released by the MOD last year support the theory that a meteor shower caused the bright lights and earthquake experienced by residents near the Berwyn incident's epicenter at Bala Lake. E&D.
Okay, so 5 foot tall. That there must be tall greys then, not the usual short greys.
Yeah.
And wool jump shoots with belts, belt kits on them. Whatever that is. So diving belts. I don't know. It's kind of strange. Yeah.
The whole story is
Bit suspect.
nonsense.
And
not suspect, it's nonsense, complete and utter nonsense.
of course, this talks about it here more. Again, the book, chapter 2.
Yeah, well, photo flash, yeah.
What's it mean by photo flash?
The photo flash bombs, Paul, they used to light up the whole area, and
yeah, right. I see that. Yeah.
Apparently, there's some research that says that they can light up shallow waters as well, but you're not going to get a warship in 50 feet of water, are you?
Yeah, that's before illumination flares anyway. Photo flash, it's old technology.
But it's 1974.
Yeah, it's old technology. I don't think we need to read out any of that then. What's this here?
It's worth looking at that.
Puffin based, what's it say there?
The flotilla reached Puffin Island. The 3 UFOs lying in the seawater off Puffin Island. The UFO are forced from the sea at Puffin Island.
We just read all that though.
From the accounts given by sailors and from the maps, the exchange of Puffin Island appears to have lasted quite some time before the UFOs decided to leave the area and head towards the mainland of North Wales. At the same time, 2 squadrons of jet fighters were involved in operations around Puffin Island and Capel Curig, which is a Snowdonia region. 2 squadrons of fighters were involved, one ambushing the UFO, while the other tracked it and chased it from its emergence from beneath the continental shelf of Puffin Island.
Taken from the ebook, apparently. So, that's a big long story then. Book must be a few pages. Chapter 2.
Yeah, well, this is the whole thing when we needed to move on quite quickly.
Chapter 3 is quite long. Well, was there anything else after this or not? We're only up to 2 hours, by the way.
Okay.
But we can finish any time you want to, if you want to finish it early.
No, it's fine. We've got too much to go through.
Alright,
Okay,
we've got another link. So you don't want me to read out that any on that page about this battle?
It's the battle that didn't happen.
So they got some pointers here though. What's that map there saying? Google Earth indicating locations. So is what's that referred to? Because that's nowhere near Puffin Island, is it? That's on the other side of the island there. I can't quite read that. It's quite out of focus there. Unless my eyes have gone really bad. I don't know. Let's see.
Have a look what you're looking at.
That there. What's that saying?
Yeah, that's the edge of the continental shelf upon which sits much of Western Europe, including the British Isles.
So they're saying the UFO base is going to be there, or what? I'm not too sure. I'm kind of confused by that now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where the depth charges will
the ironic thing is, all over that part of the world, I spoke to many people myself that have seen, things coming out of the water in that area. But I think this battle is this information. There's no question of it,
So what's wrong with the link? It's possible that Google has limited access to it. Few of my stuff, like mind control, is banned in most countries apart from America, which is kind of strange, including my own, even though I streamed it from my country. But I made a re-edit of the mind control one, but I did think this one was banned. This is why we use VPNs nowadays, because we don't have to get around all that silliness or censorship. A VPN seems to get around all the blocks. I'm not sure if I've done it wrong. It looks like it's there. I'll just copy it and just check. She wants to link to the blue people.
Okay.
There is a free VPN you can use though, isn't there, Robert? So you can put on your phone. The application.
I use BetterNet. I find that one connects every time. It does a fine job. It's quick as well.
And it's free as well, isn't it?
It's free as well. There's a paid version, of course.
Let's put Studio in front, which stuffs it all up. Let me see if it works. Blue people? Yeah, it's coming up. And we're in Great Britain at the moment, it reckons. So my VPN it reckons is in Great Britain, even though it's meant to be a Kiwi, New Zealand IP address. So yeah, the link works for me, as long as it doesn't add Studio on, because it thinks because I'm logged in, it wants me to go to the admin panel for some reason. Google is stupid. We have vague terms such as Puffin Island, near Puffin Islands. So he's saying here it wasn't actually near the islands, though, Robert, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, this is the thing. He changed his mind when he realised that the waters were too shallow.
Ah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Battle off rather than near Puffin Island. So you're not too sure what to make of that story. Hoax, you reckon?
I'm fairly sure what to make of it. It's a hoax.
Oh, you skeptic, you. So we got another link to go to now?
Yeah, I've left on there.
I'll just close that one down too. Oh, spaceships. Oh, right, looks on the same website, is it?
It is.
Off Anglesey Coast. So whereabouts was that on the map? So let's have a quick look. Why has it got copy? Right. So let's add another link. Let's see what comes up. Anglesey. What's that say at the end?
Yeah, Amloch's ideal. Because that's Puffin Island is just off Anglesey.
Island of Anglesey. Well, let's see. So it's on the other side. There we go.
Yeah.
Oil of Anglesey. Anglesey there. So it's right next to.
Yeah, you see where the red teardrop is. That's why.
Right.
And if you go the other side, you see.
Oh yeah, I
Puffin
recognise.
Islanders.
Yeah, I recognise that thing you were fishing off, where you saw the
Yeah,
ghost.
the breakwater. Yeah.
The ghost with the lantern. Fisherman.
Uh-huh.
Fishermen smugglers, probably,
Yeah.
from 1800s. You should have said, "G'day, mates. G'day. How are you?"
Yeah, my dad said that as well. It could have been. Yeah.
Yeah, they might have thought he's got strange English. It's not Old English. So we've got spaceships to read out here. So well, Wales have got a strange lingo too, haven't they? So they probably would be talking that Welsh language, which is meant to be extremely tricky.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle with it now to this day.
So what can you say?
I can say diolch yn fawr.
That's only 2 words. Can you say a paragraph or a sentence?
No, diolch yn fawr.
That's it. Dick of Welsh. What's that? Goodbye.
It's thank you very much.
Right. Sounds a wee bit German though. Dick of Welsh. Danke. Yeah, could be.
Ooh, you get shot in Anglesey for saying that.
You're a bunch of Germans. Anyway, carry on. Oh, I've gone to choose the wrong one again. Damn it. Maybe I should just buy a paid license and the amount of stuff I'd buy. There's more outgoings than incoming. Oh, I've just done it again. It is the better reader as well, though. For $3 a month, maybe I should pay.
Spaceships landed off Anglesey Coast. Among the many articles that have appeared on the internet over the years regarding the Berwyn Mountains UFO incident. This particular item tells the story of how depth charges were used to locate one alien craft at Puffin Island. Russ Kellett, the UFO researcher who was informed of photo flash by letter, has recently said that he did not suggest that the depth charging and naval engagement took place at, near or around Puffin Island. However, we have heard Kellett mention Puffin Island as being where the altercation occurred, as well as read Same and Stephen Lumley's book The Berwyn Mountains Incident Revealed. Please see the Battle of Puffin Island. The following article was written by Geraint Jones for the North Wales Chronicle in January 2011. Unfortunately, if one goes to the original website address, the article is no longer available. No spelling corrections have been made to this original article.
Yeah, but you can smell a rat there when the article's no longer available. You see what I mean? You see what the man's making his point there.
The men in black got to him, or APEN.
Well, no, he's hoaxed an account, realised that he's got it a bit wrong, and he's trying to change it.
Well, normally if it's on a website though, or a newspaper, they normally have update corrections. And don't remove the article completely, do they? Corrections to the previous article.
Alien spaceships under the sea might sound like the stuff of fiction, but a UFO researcher claims that an incident off the shores of Anglesey could be the best evidence yet of an infamous North Wales close encounter. However, UFO expert Russ Kellett said that a Coast Guard document backed his theory that one of 3 alien craft found off the coast of Anglesey crashed into Lake Bala and caused the Berwyn Mountain incident January 23, 1974. He said, "This information that I have unleashed is a sort of holy grail. The Ministry of Defense released documents a year ago and there was nothing about military activity." The researcher, who has investigated the office for 23 years, said that the Marine Coast Guard document revealed that a military exercise called Operation Photo Flash was underway from Liverpool Bay to the North Wales coast on the night of the Berwyn incident.
Okay, so it's possible that they damaged a UFO and it crashed, I guess.
No, I don't know. One apparently came down in Bala Lake. The other one came down very close to the village in Llandrillo,
Right.
or Llandrillo, and the other one crashed on Berwyn Mountains. To me, it's you know, when the government can't explain something in logical terms, they'll try and muddle the facts up, and I think this is part of the muddle up.
So I went from all over here, apparently, to where was your location?
Well, no, it came off the Anglesey coast. No, you're well into England now, Paul.
I'm just trying to find where the lake was. We got
The lake, go to my left, so I don't know if it'll be all right. So if you link up Puffin Island to Bala Lake, and so you're still in England now.
Let's get rid of some of these and go back to the original.
Yeah, that'd be best.
It looks like I may have clicked on something there and it changed it. So that's where the problem was.
Okay.
So we want to go to Bala Lake, wasn't it? B-A-L-A Lake, Bala. Have we got anything else? Alright, looks like it's going to the right place. There we go. Bingo! Straight there. We got some pictures.
Yeah.
We got some pictures you took. Are we allowed to show those now?
Yeah, of course.
There we go. Bala Lake. Taken by yours truly up in the right hand corner there. Roberts. And look, he's got a Loch Ness monster there. Which is actually just a
he's actually
a boy.
He's called Teggy.
Looks really foggy there though. Look how foggy that is over there, misty.
Yeah, there was no fog, you know. It's weird.
Did you clean your lens? It looks very foggy in there.
Yeah, it's in automatic mode now, so I'm not sure.
Low cloud maybe.
Oh yeah.
And then we got something else, and you left the lake that was on the way to the mountains that you're going to. Next one. And was that the pub at the end, or was that midway? The pub. What's that one say? Brian Turin Inn. Is that how you say that?
Vintivian Inn.
Was it at the end of the trek, or was there other picture in between?
Towards the end, yeah.
So that's
and this is where.
Yeah, carry on.
This is where the incident occurred. Now we're going through the mountains, and we've got there's nothing higher than this now. So you can see the mountains down to the left, and you can see them down to the left. I'm looking left now.
It looks
towards
foggy.
The village of Llandrillo.
You say it wasn't foggy like that when you took the picture? It's kind of really strange. Looks really foggy.
No, it was just basically we were losing light, Paul. There's actually a timestamp, and it was about 4 o'clock. Yeah, 4:45. Look.
Still, it looks like quite a lot of light there.
We're losing light now, and of course there would have been a bit of cloud cover and maybe a little fog coming down as well.
Whenever I watch Sherlock Holmes, it's always foggy like that. But anyway, and that's the pub. And did you talk to anyone there about UFOs?
Yes, I did.
Did you get any stories you're going to tell us at the end?
To be honest, I spoke to 6 people individually, and they all said the same thing. As soon as I mentioned the Berwyn UFO incident, they recognised it, and they were happy. They were quite happy to talk. But as soon as I mentioned the names of the witnesses, it was like, they all knew each other, and they kind of clammed up a bit.
So the
And you
men
can
in
see the
black had
couple
got to
to the
him.
right of the photograph there. I talked to them, and
Well, we're not going to
you
show
know,
their
when
faces.
when I mentioned, you know, and I said to them, "Tell me your experience of the story," they just turned around and said, "Oh, well, we haven't been here that long."
Right.
Yeah, so I felt I was just being a little bit fobbed off there, you know.
I
They
think you
didn't have
probably
the
got to
local
you probably
lingo.
got to drive around the area and talk to some farmers and stuff. I think.
I think what you have to do, Paul, is stay there for a weekend
Mhm.
and get the trust of them a little bit, you know. And it'd be nice to have got them on tape and other
Yeah.
stuff, but I don't think they were ever gonna be. But the landlord was an English guy, and he told me the road that Pat Evans was on, and he told us how to take it, and that's how I got the other picture, the one from Pat Evans' view. Sorry, yeah.
So that's at 2:30. So you're in the pub for an hour.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And then you went on to there. No video, unfortunately.
No, I did try, but it mucked up.
Cool. And that was at what time? Half an hour before.
That was earlier. Yeah.
Only took half an
A
hour.
few minutes past 2.
To get there to the pub. Cool.
Well, I tell you what, it's only 80 miles from Holyhead to Bala, but you're going through the mountains, so it's all windy roads, and you know, if you go too quick over those places and you come off the road, well, you know, you're looking 800 feet, you know, before you hit the bottom, and plenty of time to contemplate your mortality on the way down. So it's not a good place to speed.
There's supposed to be farmland there too, isn't it? So
it's an awful lot of farmland.
Yeah. And little small pockets of houses.
Yeah.
If you want to get away from the city, that's the way to go, I suppose.
Yeah, it's a spooky kind of feeling. You know, the atmosphere changes as you get close to it.
Right.
And you just feel like you're in a different time zone. I mean, it just feels kind of ancient. It's not spooky, but if you're ever going anywhere to meditate, that's the place to go.
Right. We haven't got the mountains
and it's amazing how many English people I met there, you know. The people who bought holiday homes there.
Berwyn hasn't got mountain.
Yeah, Lake Bala is Bala. It's just 7 miles from RichHall.
This one here? No. Bromlin. Is that the one? Let's have a look. It's going the other direction. Oh no. So, oh right, changed it there for some reason. Not too sure what happened there. Anyway, doesn't matter. Better carry on with the story, I guess. Did we read out that about the thing? Oh no, I don't think I read the rest of it, did I?
No.
But that's talking about death churches again, so I'm not sure if it's worth talking about it again.
No, I don't think it really is. Well, you know, unfortunately, this Russ Keller hasn't been a nice guy over the years to a lot of people. He's threatened other researchers, including an old woman, as in, you know, Margaret Fry.
Right.
So, and I think when he got some documents from the Holyhead Coast Guard. Okay, if you can click on Operation Photo Flash there, which is on your left. Now, if you scroll down, you might see. Hold on a minute, I'll look for it myself at the same time.
There's not much writing on there. It's just a video thing, but looks like.
Yeah.
Let me just up it.
I've got it like that.
Oh, you got another link.
Yeah.
So, was it a UFO that they saw or not? Or was it some sort
Oh,
of...
I think it's a UFO. It was a UFO, okay. But this is the whole thing with the case now. The water's been muddied so much.
Was it a meteorite shower that caused an earthquake or impact?
Yeah.
What would cause the glow, though, of a spherical thing? Meteorites don't sort of hang around.
We can go to that. The whole thing with the earthquake is dodgy. I mean, when you look at the geological report, the first thing it comes up with, the enigmatic earthquake at Bala. Now, enigmatic means unexplained, unknown, mysterious. So now an earthquake is an earthquake. So that's simply explained, isn't it? And Richard D. Hall, in his documentary, like, he puts it quite nicely. He looks at the radar data, and I'm not entirely sure it was an earthquake at all.
Well, we just looked.
But I've left another link for you there, Paul.
I thought I posted it up on here. That one.
Yeah, sure. Everyone can look at that.
Letters revisited. That's what you posted.
Yeah. Go down.
How far?
Keep going. I know we're behind. Yeah, this is. Yeah.
Whereabouts you want me to go to?
Okay, there we go. If you can blow that letter up, Paul, if you can.
I'm
not sure if you can.
Probably have to read it out.
Yeah, you can do, but I mean, look at the grammar. I mean, apparently it's been looked at. The typehead is all wrong. He's crammed everything into one paragraph. Now that's really poor English, and he's also talking about him. So I would be interested to hear if you solve your mystery, as often I look skyward in the hope of seeing something myself. Hey, come on, mate, that's not an official document. You don't talk like that on an official document.
No.
It's dodgy as hell.
What's that say there? Maritime.
Alleged.
Maritime and Coast Guard.
Yeah, MCA.
Yeah.
See, it should be an official document. It don't sound like one.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to look at the original document to see if it was photoshopped, I guess. But quality at the bottom there is not terribly good on the image, but doesn't mean that there's a reproduction, right? 80 flashes. So that could be like meteorite shower coming down, which they have been saying, though. So what do you want me to read out? Anything else on that page?
Well, the most important thing is, okay, can you blow that up as I'll read it out, Paul?
You want to read this out?
Yeah, sure, because
I thought you didn't
see
want
how dodgy
to.
it is once you read it out. You know, this is an official MCA document. Further to your inquiry regarding possible UFO sightings or other information, I have now checked for the information that we have available at the station. This is Holyhead Coast Guards, by the way. Yeah, there are not a great many log books here for that period, and I've only been able to find one entry of any vague interest. During the late afternoon, early evening of 23rd January 1974, there was an exercise from Derby Range on the Isle of Man. The exercise was called Photo Flash, and Coast Guards were advised to expect at least 10 aircraft taking part at least 80 flashes anywhere around the Liverpool Bay area and the North Wales coastline. I realise this is probably not what you were hoping for, but it's all I came up with. See, that's bad grammar. Sorry, I couldn't be of more help. Couldn't be more help. Now that's bad. Look at that. Couldn't be more help.
Well,
Whoa.
maybe he's good.
I would, and it's
good.
not even a comma there, Paul.
Well, maybe he's
Not
just
even a
good
comma.
with books,
That's
but
awful.
not with English.
That's awful.
Mm.
Close in a bit. He is English, but I would be interested to hear if you solve your mystery, as I often look skyward in the hope of seeing. No way. If that's an official document, yeah, I'll tell you what, mate. Whoa. My name's Donald Duck. That is BS. That is the worst grammar I've ever seen in my life. I couldn't even read that. Oh, he should have made at least 2 paragraphs out of that.
Mm.
There's not a comma in sight. There's not a full stop in sight. Well, there is.
At that stage,
only when you need it.
He should have done a carriage return there and put it onto the next line. But that's just English grammar. Back in '74, maybe he flunked school and got head of the Coast Guard or something, you know.
No. They wouldn't put anyone in charge of an official document that could. Bro, nah, stop then.
So
it's been looked at, Paul, by experts. Yeah, and they've all said, no way, not having it.
So who faked it, you reckon?
Oh, no doubt about that. Just Kellett, no question.
This guy here. Everything Russ Kellett
he's been
ever
sucked
stated
in
about the bizarre claim of alternative UFOs crashing near the Burns have been forced out of the sea by the military task force. So, yeah, but where's the analysis on the letter? Did anyone else comment on the letter here? Of this section, theory is that Keller's letter of inquiry. Okay, let's just read out that bit then.
Mm-hmm.
My theory is that Kellett's letter of inquiry was expected and therefore easy to intercept. It was either intercepted at destination or en route. Either way, I believe it was intercepted. A reply was then engineered, the image above. Quietly mentioning the photo flash operation in the Irish Sea. Upon receiving the reply, Russ then put 2 and 2 together and linked an imaginary military event with a real UFO event, but a variant of it. The letter above is clearly fake, but Russ took it to heart. It was important for him to receive a reply on official headed paper for authenticity. But whoever concocted that needed to alter it enough so that if it came back to bite them in the future, the MCA would quite correctly claim it was a fake and they'd been duped. They walk away scot-free.
So how did he intercept the original letter and change it though? I don't know if you could see any editing on it. It does kind of look like it's been edited there though, doesn't it? But he's got a patch here of some sort.
Well, I'm not sure you can read too much into it from what we're seeing now, but
right, that line.
It's basically a known hoax.
That line there's where it's been folded in half, right?
Yeah.
The quality of this image is not very good, so you could do an analysis on it. I don't think that would be like the best quality scan of the document. But how would you change it though? It's a bit hard to tell whether that's a paste thing here, right? Going up to where the crease is. I don't know. It's possible. Bad quality though. So what else do you want to read out here? Anything? Move on.
Well, let me have a look.
Okay, so he's got the original one here in the picture below.
Yeah.
Where it's got the address down the side, which is blotched over. So he reckons you can't read that. But he did.
I would go to this is important now, Paul. I would go to the bottom of that page and show how the editor's note how it would be normally headed. You see?
Right, and the logo's on that side. But is that a document? Is that a document from the same year though?
Yeah, but that's a genuine document.
Oh yeah, but that's been posted in 2011 though, not 1974.
No, the first one was 2010.
Was it?
So I don't disconnect. Or 2000, was it?
Can we see a date on there? What's it say there? Telephone number. 2002? Looks like there. 16.
No, I can't. That's too vague for me to see.
No, I can't get any bigger than that. It says there 18 on the right hand side /04 2002. So that was the original one. So this is 9 years later.
Yeah, it actually tells you there to click on the image above to see full-size version.
Alright. I think it's got a click thing. Oh, it's just... it's going to take us away. Is it any better quality though? I think it's even smaller. Yeah, it's not. There's no different.
Okay. Yeah, but you can see by the way...
how it's paragraphed.
Okay, yeah. 2009 has been designated as the European Year of the Volunteer by the European Union in recognition of the important contribution that volunteers make to many member states. A number of activities to increase awareness of the value and importance of volunteering will be undertaken throughout the year. You see how easy that is to read because it's proper grammar. The other one was completely bogus, in my opinion.
I'm not too sure the quality of the people that hired back then, though. So,
no way. They wouldn't put anyone there that couldn't write a letter, Paul.
Right. Now, you're a right debunker tonight, aren't you?
Yes, I am. And it's going to get worse.
We switch roles tonight. I'm the believer and Rob's the debunker.
Hey. But no, I think this is a genuine UFO case. Absolutely, yeah. But I think all this was done to muddy the waters. If you can't cover it up, muddle it up.
So what do you think happened then?
Can I leave that to the end?
Okay. We got a link?
Yeah, we'll move on.
We're at 2 hours and 40 minutes at the moment.
Okay. So, taking into account now that this is more than likely, Russ Kellett's research is more than likely a hoax. You have to look at this.
We post the link.
And this is where you get real disinformation.
I thought this is the one I already got.
No, I've just left you another one now.
Yeah, it's the same one.
No, that one isn't.
Yeah, but you hadn't submitted it yet.
Yeah, I've done.
Not Nick Pope.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And this is fun.
So you want to start reading from the top?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, hang on. Let's talk about the book. Stephen Lumley. Where does it start? Oh, it's going to talk about the unexplained mystery.
Yeah, but remember now that Stephen Lumley, his book is all based on a research of Driscoll.
Ah, right. So it's going to be bogus. So you want me to read out this or not?
Read out the whole lot.
That was a bit much, though. We're going to run out. Oh, that's all right. I think we...
So I'll do it.
No. I think it pops up, so it sort of noises for 5 seconds, but that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to go to the toilet, though.
An unexplained mystery since January 1974. This book is a thorough examination of the available evidence concerning the Berwyn Mountains incident, and includes fresh research from dedicated UFO investigator Russ Kellett, revealing hitherto unknown events. These include an alleged encounter at sea between Office and the Royal Navy, an ambush by RAF fighter jets, and dozens of Army personnel helping to conceal the evidence. Asterisk, was a UFO shot down that night? Asterisk, did 5 men see 5 aliens clambering out of it? Asterisk, were the aliens then taken away by soldiers? This amazing account builds to an explosive allegation, and explains why the authorities have consistently covered up this event, and sought to prevent any further investigation. Finally, there is endorsement of the book by former MOD employee Nick Pope. This fascinating book shines a light on one of the world's most intriguing UFO incidents, a case that may in time come to be known as Britain's Roswell. Nick Pope, Ministry of Defense UFO Project 1991 to 1994. Scott Felton contacted Nick Pope to inquire about said endorsement, and Pope replied indicating that he had not read the final version. Here follows the dialogue between Scott Felton and Nick Pope.
So, how much money did Nick Pope get then? That's the question.
Exactly. You're going to love this, Paul.
Did he get paid off, you reckon? Scott Felton, Nick Pope. Oh, it goes on a bit. Are we going to be laughing, aren't we? We'll just read out that bit.
I think we are.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
Oh, no.
That's alright, it counts down, but I'm going to have to reduce the font again, probably. Stupid pop-up. Oh no, I can see it at the bottom there. Skip.
Scott L. Felton, hi Nick.
Oh, I've lost my place now.
Could I please take a few minutes of your time to ask if you are familiar with this recent publication, The Berwyn Mountains Incident Revealed by Stephen Lumley, and if you have endorsed the book and Kindle version as claimed in the write-up about the book on Amazon? For your convenience, I have attached 2 images to assist. Thanks for your time, and I look forward to your kind response. Cheers, Scott L. Felton. 31st of July 2014 at 00.27. Nick Pope, Scott, I'm familiar with this book and gave it a nice endorsement. The author and I share the same agent and publisher. Best wishes, Nick Pope. 31st of July 2014 at 7:39. Scott L. Felton. Thanks, Nick. Very much appreciated. Thanks for your time. 31st of July 2014 at 09.49. Scott L. Felton. Nick. This might appear as an odd question, but may I ask if you read the book before offering your endorsement, and either way, what was your opinion of the book's coverage of Russ Kellett's claims? As always, thanks for your time. Scott. 31st of July 2014 at 12.16. Nick Pope. I'd seen some of the material, though not the final version. I'm skeptical of Russ Kellett's claims, but clearly they have to be featured in any overview of the case. 31st of July 2014 at 18:45. Scott L. Felton. Thanks, Nick. I too am skeptical. And I agree, if there are claims, then they must be looked into. Unfortunately, Russ has made a career of not allowing his alleged documentation and witnesses to be independently verified. As it happens, I know the area of sea very well where it is claimed certain UFO/military engagements took place, and I knew years ago it was impossible for his claims as made to be true. Since then, Other information has come to light, including a confession from one guy involved in the original 5 Wise Men hoax, that it was indeed a hoax, but he distanced himself from it when it got out of hand. The whole thing was taken up by a guy called Williams who was living not many miles from me, who has drip-fed Russ Kellett Duff in full for years. Thanks for your reply, Nick. Very kind. Cheers, mate.
So that's the end of it.
Yeah.
So what they're saying a bit here. Countdown.
So Nick Pope had only read some of the material but not the final version. And he, Pope, and Stephen Lumley share the same agent and publisher. Hardly a sound basis upon which to write an endorsement of a book on the subject of a now proven hoax. On 14th of August, 2014, another person wrote to Nick Pope interested in finding out more about his endorsement of the new Lumley Kellett book. This particular person is the chief engineer of a UK-based search and rescue fleet, and had provided me with photos of a genuine maritime and coast guard agency letter dated 18th of April, 2002, to show the normal format of such communications. The photos and the alleged letter may be seen here, the MCA letter.
So 2002 is what I read out on one of them. So that could have been the one that was hoaxed then.
No, do you know the whole thing of endorsing something? You know, the Puffin Island incident. You know what actually happened over Puffin Island. You know, there was depth charges released. There was an aerial battle. They had a warship there. Nobody's seen it. Nobody's seen it. Like an event like that, I tell you now, it's not even 1,000 yards from the east of Anglesey. It's not far from or anywhere, to be quite honest, along that coastline. And nobody even witnessed it. Not one single report. And Nick Pope has basically,
said it happened. Said it happened.
He's given it a big review, a big thumbs up. Nice one, Nick. I always knew UFO shit.
I wonder how much money he made from it though. And probably stuff all
exactly. Yeah.
It's probably stuff all back then, was it? When was the book released? 2002, was it?
Well, you can find it on Amazon quite easily, can't you? Is it Stephen Lumley, yeah? I think it's Stephen Lumley. But another thing that was, I think it was Stephen with a V, Paul.
Okay.
I think so.
Lumley book. He might have written quite a few books though.
No, I don't think so.
Berwyn Mountain's Incident Revealed, is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one. The only good research in it is apparently copied from other people, plus his own fake documents.
Okay, where's the year number? 2014.
Yeah.
So that's when Nick would have endorsed it then.
Yeah, and have a look at the dates on the recommendations. The reviews, sorry. Yeah.
Reviews? Okay. Oh, it's got a few bad reviews.
Yeah, it has, but look at the first ones.
It's 5 stars. Verified picture. Very interesting. Well researched. Interesting read. Oh. Okay, now we got it. Interesting read of elements, essentially a collection of personal accounts. So that's a 5 star. And this one, disappointing. The material contained in the book was collected by another investigator. This is well known incident in the book does not provide any new, in my opinion, lies, abuse, part of the group attacking me. What's that one about? Lies, part of the group attacking me on the net. The police will be contacted soon. If this is not...
Yeah, Mr. Felton is Scott Felton, the guy who's exposed him.
Right. Lies,
now
abuse.
You see what's going on.
So he's calling someone Peterson here.
And there's Scott Felton.
It's well-known hoax, 2 stars. I was happy to purchase a Kindle, but they really being familiar with the case, haven't debunked other disinformation. Okay, so we won't go over that too much.
No.
They learned it was claims of Russ Kellett about a version of events. What's that? 1,000 pages? Right. Berwyn UFO event is a massive case and would struggle to fit within 1,000 pages. So the above claim is dishonest. Entertaining, yes, but not expect facts. What else we got? At only 100 pages, Steve Lumley has written a relatively short book, but that's not to say it's not short on content.
See, these people don't do the research.
Well, they expect the research to be in a book, I guess.
Well, they do, yeah, but it's not the case, isn't it? Half the time.
1 star. I didn't see any 1 stars here. Was there a 1 star? Nothing new. August 2014. Nothing new here except the same old story. If people actually do the research correctly, the MOD clearly acknowledged the crash off the RAF Harrier GR3. This was on a night flying exercise, and what is now known...
No. He's got that all wrong. That's in the 80s. That happened in the 80s, not 1974.
Right. So he's got his facts wrong.
He's got them badly wrong, yeah. I've looked into this, Paul. I always do.
Richard D. Hall's mentioned at the end here. What makes it worse is we get media wannabes like RichHall create awful amateur TV productions.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, see that sounds now a little bit like that someone has got Kellett's guy on him. You see what I mean? You can see the infighting here. You see, all it takes now to muddy the waters in the UFO field is someone just driving a little bit of a wedge between people. And we both know, me and you, Paul, we know how easy it is to fight in the UFO community. We've been in there a long time now, and we've seen it all firsthand.
So this book's not too long ago, actually, really. 5 years?
No.
Where's the price of it? I didn't see a price.
It's not worth a penny.
A bestseller rank is 3 million. So it doesn't sound really good. I don't know if it ever got up to number 1 or anything like that, though. Whether it tell you. So I'd like to know how many copies was sold.
Well, the 9 customer reviews are interesting. And they're all infighting. Those 9 customer reviews are basically the 2 researchers fighting together. And their little mates.
So where's the price on this stupid site? Currently unavailable. That's why. So what did it sell for? $15? $30? Kindle books, what are they normally about 15 US? But anyway, we better move on, I guess. So it's getting late. 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock for me. Past.
Yeah.
It's now coming up to 3-hour live stream. We didn't need... Oh, right. We didn't read out the last bit here, though, did we? We should read out that bit.
No, we never.
Because that was quite amusing about Nick Pope. So let's just read what that says. Oh, I chose the wrong one again. Right. Yes, I've never been a fan of Nick Pope, to tell the truth.
No, not I.
He goes to all the conferences, though. Somehow he's living in America.
The tour. The lucrative tour.
Well, somehow he's managed to live in America. Isn't he in Arizona or somewhere like that?
The engineer contacted Nick Pope on 14th of August, 2014 to ask whether Pope had seen the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency letter when reading the draft of the Lumley Kellett book. prior to his endorsing of same. The email exchange is as follows. Note, all times are BST 14th of August 2014 at 5:33. Dear Nick, I understand you have endorsed a book on the Berwyn Mountain UFO incident by Stephen Lumley. I am wondering if whilst reading the drafts, did you have access to the fake letter being used to give the story credence? As a chief marine engineer based in the UK, I deal with the MCA on a regular basis. As they are an executive government agency, they have protocol when writing. Surely as a former MOD employee you would have spotted this fake straight away. I have included a fake and a genuine letter for your consideration. I look forward to your reply. Regards, Gary Moore, 15th of August 2014 at 12:31. Gary, though I can't be absolutely certain, I don't recall having seen this document before. When publishers solicit quotes/endorsements for a forthcoming title, it's not unusual for them to circulate uncorrected proofs, which often contain the main body of the text, but omit appendices, illustrations, etc. This is probably why I didn't see the document.
Damage control.
Best wishes, Nick Pope, 15th of August 2014 at 41:18. Many thanks for your reply, Nick.
That sounds like a damage control from Nick cover-up. It's not my fault.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Paul. There's another thing I've always considered Nick Pope, with his background with the MOD and that. Yeah, he calls himself a ufologist, but I don't trust anything he says, to be quite honest, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people like him, though.
Yeah, a lot of people like him. He's nothing more than a talking head and a pop ufologist.
Yeah, I've seen him on a lot of the TV shows, and he's saying...
As you do, yeah.
Didn't he say that Chinese... it wasn't Chinese, it was in France, the one that shined a light beam down. He says, people didn't know what this was, and we all knew straight away, or at least us debunkers knew straight away it was a time-lapse of a helicopter in China with a searchlight. And I was thinking, is he really that naive that he didn't bother doing asking around before he went on the show? Or did they catch him out, or did they edit it? Everyone keeps saying they edit.
know, mate.
They often make excuses from. They say the show was edited and what he actually said was not really what he was looking at or whatever. So I don't know. It seems a bit suspect to me though, because if he's talking about it shining the beam down and the photo is obviously the same one, he's talking about the same thing. So anyway, was this the next one? I thought we'd just done that one.
No, this one. I don't know if you can play a little bit of this from 18 minutes 30.
All right, you posted another one now.
Yeah, but it's YouTube. But I
risky.
don't really think Mr. Felton will have much of a problem with us playing this.
Let's go into that studio thing. Yeah, gotta edit it. It looks like we're going to have to get a toilet too. My bladder's full.
Okay.
31 minutes, wow. So who does this one? RichHall. I don't know.
RichHall. Yeah, and I'd highly recommend anyone that's listening to go and see the full documentary there. It's Berwyn UFO Cover-Up Exposed, and it's 3 30-minute episodes.
We might better play a clip on it, but we might still get a claim if you want to take a chance. Because now for big channels, they offer a Google tool which lets them know which clips have been used in their videos. But if we speed it up, it sometimes doesn't detect it straight away.
It's better to slow it down than speed it up, to be honest, in this one.
You reckon? I find people talk a wee bit too slow in most cases, and speeding up makes it sound a bit easier.
But it's kind of at 18 minutes that I want you to play.
The first 18 minutes?
Yeah. I don't think is that the same one?
What do you mean?
No, from 18 minutes onwards, Paul.
Okay. You want to just play 18 minutes of it?
Yeah, about there. Yeah, you got it. Go, 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 go.
You should have done a copy time on the end and it would have gone straight there.
I
Well,
did. Oh yeah, I could have done that, yeah.
That night.
I just have to turn it up a wee bit.
Well, Margaret Fry's had reports in the past, just a couple of days or so after the incident when the UFO was on the mountain. Witness, who I don't know who it is, apparently came past here and saw an army wagon in this little hidden car park. A couple of soldiers milling about, and somewhere here were two more soldiers, 4 soldiers in total, 2 each carrying a box off the mountainside here.
Let's now look at the scientific evidence which has been put forward to suggest that an earthquake took place that night. I obtained a copy of the report by the British Geological Survey. Doubt is cast immediately before one even begins to read the first page with the title, The Enigmatic Bala Earthquake. Enigmatic meaning not clear to the understanding, perplexing or mysterious. I showed the report to an expert who has a PhD in geology. After reading the report, he contacted me and wanted to point out certain aspects. He drew my attention to a map shown in the report of the stations used to measure the seismic activity. The triangles show the locations where seismic measuring equipment recorded the tremor. In 1974, there was no measuring station within 150 miles of Llandrillo. Here is a trace from the report of what was recorded at one of the stations. The geologist explained to me that it is impossible to determine from this trace whether it was caused by an impacting object or from an earthquake. He then went on to explain how the center of the tremor is determined using the data from each measuring station. They simply compare the relative magnitudes of the seismic activity at each station, and based on this, triangulate the most likely position of the source. The size of the tremor measured at each station is not necessarily indicative of the distance. Factors such as the type of intervening rock come into play. In summary, it was impossible to locate the epicenter of this event with any accuracy using the seismic data. The second method the seismologists use to determine the epicenter is to send out questionnaires to the public. They then plot the results of the survey on a map using a scale of 1 to 5 regarding how strongly people felt the tremor. This map from the report shows the intensities felt by local people, 5 being the strongest. The circle shown in the center is about 15 miles across. The report mentions 2 previous geological studies of this event, one done in 1980 by Burton and Nielsen, who determined the epicenter was likely to be here, one done in 1988 by Turbot and Innes, who determined the epicenter was likely to be here, and this report, which determined the epicenter was likely to be here. This map is important to our investigation, as we shall see later in the film. The geologist drew my attention to this table, which he thought was highly ambiguous. The table gives 2 estimates of the depth of the tremor, derived from the 1980 and 1988 reports. Before I explain the table, I need to explain standard deviation. When using data of a statistical nature where a value cannot be specified exactly, scientists give a figure along with that figure's error, expressed in terms of its standard deviation. For example, if the scientist said the earthquake depth was 100 meters, with a standard deviation of 10 meters, we can show this on a normal distribution graph. We put the mean figure of 100 meters in the middle, with +1 standard deviation, 110 meters, and -1 standard deviation, 90 meters. What the graph is showing is we are not certain what the depth was, but can be 68% sure the depth was between 90 and 110 meters. If we go to 2 standard deviations, we can be 95% sure the depth was between 80 and 120 meters, and so on. Now let's look at the depths described in the table and put them on the normal distribution graph. The first report states 15 kilometers as the depth, but does not give a standard deviation figure. The second gives 7.5 kilometers as the depth and 12.5 kilometers as the standard deviation. Incidentally, both these depths are extremely shallow for an earthquake. Any earthquake less than 70 kilometers is considered shallow. If we put the data on a normal distribution graph, it doesn't really make any sense. It is suggesting there is a 68% chance that the tremor occurred at a depth between -5 kilometers and 20 kilometers. -5 kilometers. In other words, above the surface. Surely not. The geologist agreed after studying the report there is no conclusive evidence whatsoever that an earthquake occurred. In light of...
So, to me, though, we do have shallow earthquakes in New Zealand. They call them mini quakes. 5K is not unusual, even 1 kilometer. So, but what he's trying to say here is obviously it could have been an explosion above which rattled the ground. He's saying 5 kilometers up. Does that mean that the UFO crashed, or does it mean it could have been a meteorite? I don't know. Are you there, Robert? Hello? Have I muted? Robert?
Damn it, sorry mate, I had it muted.
Oh, right.
Yeah. At this point, I think what he's saying is basically that there's a very good chance that there was an impact of some sort. And, you know, at this point, I'll voice my opinion. I think there could have been some kind of an impact. The big orange ball-like light that was seen for 1 hour 40 minutes, but never seemed to have crashed at all, that was seen by 9 witnesses, and they all described more or less the same thing, with discrepancies which you'd expect in any encounter. Any witness statements, if they're all saying exactly the same thing, is a bit dodgy.
Hang on, though, but if it was an impact, there should be a crater.
Yes, of course. If there was an impact, there should have been a crater.
Or at least a covered-up crater.
They did find a possible site, but I can tell you now that area is vast, and they could not pinpoint the exact site.
Not the epicenter, which is what he's saying.
The epicenter of the earthquake was apparently Bala Lake, but it was on 3 different locations according to 3 different geological surveys, so we don't really know where it was. So, and also from the sightings, you know, given the mountains and look at the region there, as you can see on that map, my God, you know, it's very difficult to pinpoint exactly where it was. You know, it's a massive area. Who knows? But those guys did go. There were metal detectors and what have you. But what I feel is that it could have been one UFO came down, crash landing, another came down for repairs. They left together because there didn't seem to be anything left, and if there was,
unless
the
it's a
military
cover-up.
seemed to be first on the scene.
Unless the army went in there, trucked it off, and then filled up the hole.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that was possible.
But then someone should have seen a truck around the city, right? And they should.
They did.
They did. They saw military fence it off and all that.
Yeah,
Plus,
some said that, but the debunkers are calling them liars.
And
because they said they weren't there.
And the orange glow it was orange, wasn't it? It could be a fire that was caused by the crash.
Well, no, not according to the witness statements, because they said there was clear defined lines on a sun-like object.
Right.
The people in RichHall, they said they seen a glow, but it was white, not like a fire.
Right.
But they did think possibly.
But couldn't it be a UFO that come down and the light reflecting off it from the ground, causing
possibly
the color change, like a
There's
fire?
all kinds of scenarios that go into it here.
So, do we want to carry on listening to the rest of this, or take a chance? I suppose we can if you want.
The other factors involved, namely the army presence and the witness testimony, the most likely cause of the tremor, in my personal opinion, was an impact. If this is the case, this does not necessarily mean the object witnessed by Pat Evans and Mike Saville was the impacting object, although that is one possibility. It's also possible that the object descended in response to whatever impacted moments earlier. In order to get more information, we decided to drive along the floor of the valley and knock on the doors of the farms and houses between Llandrillo and the Berwyn Mountain.
Yes, I think I've seen this video before, actually.
Yeah, you may well have, but I tell you what, the roads are just like that long.
In our investigation, we were informed by a local that a military unit hired and occupied an outhouse building as a base camp for a duration of between 6 and 8
that
weeks.
Didn't work out, that one.
Sorry?
That didn't work out. They did hire a farmhouse or a shed there, but that was the 1980s crash.
Right.
Following the explosion,
The best thing you
we
can
went
probably
along
do
to this.
Is,
Right. What are you saying?
okay, is go right back to the beginning of that video.
Okay.
Play a little bit of that because I think that's a very genuine man.
Shake the house, and it frightened the life out of us. We didn't know what was going on. So I got my clothes together, came out. I looked out that way, out towards the Berwyns, and I could see light in the air, but I couldn't see anything else. So I walked over to the barn steps, and over the top of the bushes, I could see, well, my wife I saw it first. It's like a half a sun going down, bright orange. We thought a plane might have crashed, but as soon as we'd seen it, we'd realised there was no flames coming from it. It was a very defined line. At that point, I got my wife to come out and have a look at it. We were sort of quite frightened by it all. We didn't know what was going on. And so we decided to go down to Kai Pant, to the farm below us. Okay. To see what, because they were on the phone and to see what they had to say about
It's about 400 yards from here, something like that.
Yeah,
Yes,
500 yards, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
so
across the fields.
we got my son out of bed, woke him up, got him out of bed, dressed up all of us because it was a winter's night. Got him on the backpack, walked down to the farm. Arthur and Dillis and the children were all up. They had heard it. They had been on the phone to Llandrillo, to relatives there, and the whole village was out, police and chaos, mayhem sort of thing.
Okay, and you didn't mention the explosion there, Mike. Did you hear an explosion?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
we didn't know what was going on.
Okay. And how long did you observe the object for, and did it move at all?
No, it was very static,
Okay.
very static. And as I say, we then walked down to the farm. We must have been there 10 or 15 minutes talking with Arthur, and they decided to bring us home. Arthur came up with his son Dowie, and I said, well, come and look at it. So we all stood on the barn steps, and the four of us were watching it.
So how many people would have seen this, you reckon?
I believe there was 9. There was 9 that actually seen the sun-like object, that we know of, that actually came forward. But I tell you what, they poured out the pub in Llandrillo, and they all seen the glow off it. So if you take in the glow off the object as well, you're talking about, oh my God, dozens and dozens of sightings. From Bala all the way to Llandrillo and the Berwyn Mountains.
How many people were in those villages, though?
So if you said, pass the line again, Paul, please.
How many people in those villages, you reckon? 300?
I don't think there's more than a couple of hundred in Llandrillo. In Bala, it's far more. I think it's several thousand in Bala.
Oh, if it's on a lake, there's probably like a holiday destination too.
Yeah,
isn't it?
you got it. Yeah, and I mean, you only got to listen to that guy there. You can see he's not Welsh. He's an English guy that's bought up a holiday home there, basically. And the girl I spoke to in Llandrillo, even trying to get these names right now before I get assassinated. She'd been there 40 years, and she told me that while the younger generation don't speak about it as much as they used to, but it still comes up. She said to me, come down on the weekend and you get some of the older folk in that were, and we're going to go back there. And then I went to the other place, the one with picture, and I spoke to a few people there. And they said basically the same thing. We get more of an elderly crowd where I was then in the second place, and they'll let you know to the best of their knowledge what happened. But yes, most of them seen the glow from the object rather than see the object. As far as I know, there's only 9 people gone on record seeing this sun-like object. Which they calculated was 22 meters in diameter, which is way bigger than 2 houses. It's huge, and it doesn't look anything man-made or military, does it?
What time in the morning?
According to Pat Evans as well, it was glowing from orange to yellow to red, but she's seen the full thing.
What time did he
this
say
guy
it was?
From where he was only seeing. It was only seen partial because of you can see the dive into the hill there, can't you?
What time did he say he witnessed it again? I think I forgot what it was.
I think the whole thing occurred between like 8ish PM and 11 PM. But I think that this object stood there for 1 hour 40 minutes, but it was later seen taking off, so it didn't crash as such. Maybe it came to the assistance of something that did, but I think the rest of it, the Puffin Island battle, the alien bodies, all that kind of thing, is a load of horse feathers. But I think it's a very genuine UFO event. It's just a shame that there's been so much disinformation.
I don't know if he said at a time at all in this interview.
I think he may well have.
100 yards. Didn't see the time. I stood there. So it looks like another witness. All of fireball light was on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other guy talking to him. Yeah, but I didn't see a time. They said
that's got Felton there in the middle. There's Margaret Fry on the right, and
right.
The witness on the left.
There's no time there. Sun going down. I don't remember seeing a time that he saw it anyway. 10-15 minutes talking. I just don't recall them talking about time.
Yeah, but they're obviously quite upset because they moved to another farmhouse that's a few hundred yards away to see what they'd seen as well, which is quite unusual.
Well, let's see. I can't see it there. Well, let's just do a transcript. Oh, there is none.
Okay.
Oh, it says. How does it works? So apparently you can open up the transcript and do Control F to get the search thing, and you can type in a keyword. So you can type in time, and it should come up what was it at time. So the first one's 11 minutes. We got time out, bed. So if it's at bed, what time would they be in bed though? 400 yards out of bed. So that 9 o'clock at night maybe? Woke him up. Time scale. No, there's no mention of time in the statements, which is kind of strange.
No.
Normally you look at your watch and say, I woke up and looked at the clock and it was 11 p.m. or whatever. Right.
Well, I know that Pat Evans seen it around about 10:15 p.m. So it's January the 23rd, remember now, so it would have been pitch dark by around 5 o'clock.
So it could be any time after 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. really then.
Yeah, but apparently it coincided with Pat Evans' sighting, this man's sighting, now this gentleman's sighting. So
it's got 8:30 p.m. that explosion was.
Yes.
I think we can click on that and it will take us to see. That's pretty handy. So if you want to go to where they're talking about time.
Yeah, that's a useful tool, that pot.
Yeah, so just carry on.
The explosion was 8:38 p.m. Mike Saville came out of his house a few minutes later.
Oh, there we go.
As far as I'm concerned, between sort of it happening,
so I was close,
and getting yourselves together, going down the farm and coming back here, I would have thought it must have been 40 minutes, 3/4 of an hour.
Right. And we know it disappeared from sight about 20 past 9. Which ties in with your 3/4 of an hour.
Yeah.
And what it was effectively doing was landing and behind the hill, and once it went out of their vision, it was gone. Pat Evans left their house about 20 to 10. it was 10 o'clock, or just about 10 o'clock, when Pat Evans discovered it. So 35 minutes later. She stopped for 5 minutes to look at the object across the way on the hill there, in the pitch black of the night. And then after 5 minutes, she went along the road to the county boundary, turned round, returned to this spot, and spent about another 10 minutes looking at the object before departing for home. A little village called Llangonog, which is the next village along that very road that Pat Evans was on. I got told of a witness in that village who claims she saw what she called a UFO flying over their village, heading towards the English border at 20 past 10. Pat Evans, a few days later, said she was sorry she didn't actually stay a bit longer because she'd heard through other people, I expect, that the UFO had departed about 10 minutes after she'd left the scene. So that ties in with that 10 minutes time frame, and this other witness a few miles down the road saying she saw this thing pass over their village.
So in total, we've got the UFO as being on the mountainside for about an hour and 40 minutes in total.
Oh yeah, it was there for quite some time.
That night, locals in Llandrillo were perplexed to see a significant military presence arrive in their remote village. Just 50 minutes after the explosion, Leon Pritchard arrived back in the village at 9:30 p.m.
Do you want to pause it
returning
there,
by
Paul?
car.
Yeah, so I was talking about the army. So this is a bit about the army.
Yeah, okay, the military presence like that. This is interesting because there's several witnesses to this. Now, either they're all lying, or the likes of Andy Roberts and David Clark, Dr. David Clark, I should say, actually debunkers, correct, and they go off the information of the release documents in the early 2000s, which is Project Condime, where they said there was no army involved. So, well, do we really go off that? I don't know. Just because the MOD hasn't released those files doesn't mean to say it didn't happen. But according to them, it didn't happen because the army says it didn't happen, which is interesting. So the witnesses have to be lying in. And I think you've got a witness coming up shortly.
All right.
Okay.
From a welding course.
Well, we were coming home from the Bala direction of Bala, and as soon as we arrived in Llandrillo, we were aware of something was going on, because it was mayhem really, because a lot of police cars and army trucks in the village, which was very unusual.
Were there any police as well?
That's the same hotel that I was outside the Paul.
Right.
There was police there, not in as heavy numbers as the army though.
Okay. And how many army would you estimate that you saw?
Well, I saw 2 trucks. That's all I saw, because they were stopping. Presumably, they'd gone up the mountain to do whatever they wanted to do, and they were stopping everybody else.
So they were stopping cars?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The other thing that I could say is that evening there was a propeller engine plane droning up and down the Berwyns, up and down, up and down.
Before or after?
Afterwards.
Right.
And it seemed to be, I don't know, I can't remember what time we went to bed, but for sure it was going up and down, up and down.
Okay.
A propeller type plane, not a jet.
The sudden appeal.
So I'm not sure. We've played quite a bit of this video. Probably going to be done by it, but we have to see.
Oh, we've talked over it. I don't really see
yeah, but you know,
any object of us playing it. To be quite honest,
yeah, the fair use stuff is annoying. So they would be saying it was like an airplane crash at that time, though, wasn't it? You said there was 180, but there probably
was one in the 80s, yes, but this is 1974.
Are you sure they didn't say it was a plane crash?
No, in the 80s there was a genuine plane crash.
Yeah, but in the 70s, did they say it was a plane crash? So all this military, what did they say?
No, after the impact, the explosion, and the tremor, they believed at first, it was the police believed at first anyway, that a plane came down, but it turned out not to be that way.
Yeah, but what was the army story? What it was? Earthquake.
Earthquake combined with a meteor strike, combined with earth lights.
Well, why would you send the army out if it was that? No, not with the army presence there. I don't. If it was a downed plane, then that would be more believable.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd send the army.
But there was no down plane, unless it was something so top secret.
The other excuse, it could have been like a RS terrorists or something like that set off a bomb, and that's why you would have the army presence there, maybe.
I tell you what, the IV wouldn't mess with Wales. That's their way through to the mainland, you see. Through Holyhead to the mainland.
Right.
And they wouldn't take that route anyway.
Do we need to listen to any more of this and
finish up? We can wrap it up if you like, Paul.
Yeah, I think we should leave it there. People can watch the full video anyway themselves.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a handy little thing, the transcript thing that we know about now. So, suppose we could close all those down. But anyway, I'll queue up the end credits now. We did 3.5 hours. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we did get a few watching in the end there, up to 5 I think it was, or 6 maybe, for a short time. What's the current stats say? 54 visits and average time at 12.5 minutes according to that. So we'll just have to see what the end result comes out. That always, yeah, that's pretty not too good actually, but I suppose 10 minutes or more is typical, really. But yeah,
people have short attention spans. It's just the way it goes.
We went right into depth there, though. Why is it not switching, though? Why is it not going? What's that say there? I can't read what it says there. It's got some other message. Since they changed the interface on the update, that's a wee bit confusing. Okay, thanks everybody, and we're just going to wind down here and give it
Cheers, guys.
Give it an hour for it to process before the side chat comes up, else it glitches as it plays generally. Okay, so is it playing sound? So there it is. Please like and share, help out the channel. Sub if you're not a member. And I'll just type a side thing too. Good night, Kiwi. Shutting down the studio. Except for we're meant to be underground. Well, this one's above. It's actually on the Port Hills, I think. Around Christchurch. We're in the Matrix. hoax. Yeah, it's got to catch up.